Yeah, we back in this hole. As y'all can see, my brother K Slim is not here. He's, venturing off into some things. He's still a part of the pod. Don't be worried. My nigga's
Facts.
still a part of the pod. However, he's just not gonna be on the weekly shit, for a little while. But until he get back, I'm running this shit. Nah, I'm playing. Hey man, Black Roots in this motherfucker. We back with another episode 43 to be exact. Know what I'm saying? Real Rap Coalition podcast. We're reviewing another movie. We got more jokes. And you know what I'm saying? We're going to get into that shit. But before that, we going to introduce niggas.
Yes, sir. It's your boy Bob Celeste. Good to be here on another Friday night. You know what I'm saying? To complete the objective. Great Gatsby shit. You know what I mean? We going back to saying I'm getting that Gatsby money. That nigga got a lot of money. Let's talk about it. Let's go, man.
Factuals.
Nah, that's a fact, man. It's Big Bad K Gatsby, man. Y'all stay dangerous and never lose hope. You hear what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Hey yeah. Hey man, so this week was KTL's pick. So I'm gonna let him, pop shit off with a brief little summary description of what we're gonna be talking about today.
But before he gets into it real quickly, just want to tell the people there, if you're listening right now, if you're listening after the fact, like and subscribe, helps out a bunch of shit, know what I mean? Just hit the fucking button, takes 2 seconds. And I hope you enjoy the show, man. My bad, KTL.
No, that's really what I wanted to address, because first off, fun fact, I watched one of our videos this morning and we was at 121 subs. We're now at 123. So today we've gained 2 subs, shout out to the 2 people that subscribed. We're on episode 43, man. We've been doing this bitch for 43 weeks straight, bro. We coming up on a year straight, man. You know what I'm saying? Really got all this shit out the mud type shit. But yeah. My bad. Somebody sent me a message, right? So, all right, man. Great Gatsby, 2013, Leonardo DiCaprio, Joel Edgerton, etc. Tobey Maguire. First things first, the reason I picked this movie, man, back when I was in high school, this movie came out probably when I was a junior. So, I remember because we were like in my English class, my English teacher, probably one of my favorite teachers that I've had. She had us reading this book, it was part of our syllabus and whatnot, our curriculum, if you will. And she really wanted to, the mad coincidence that this movie was finna drop then. She really wanted to take us all to like a field trip to the movie theater and shit, man. We didn't get to do that shit, but I know it was a big topic of conversation back then. I enjoyed reading the book. I've seen this movie a bunch of times. I'm a fan of Leonardo DiCaprio, Tobey Maguire, of course, and so I was really excited to see this bitch. And I made a post about it, like, after I watched this, yesterday night or 2 nights ago, whenever I watched it. I think this is a movie that, like, every time as I've grown and been in different stages of my life, this has had, like, I've come away from the movie with a different thought process and a different moral of the story, if you will. So I thought it would be something real interesting. It feels like a blockbuster movie, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? I didn't realize till they mentioned it earlier. This movie is 2.5 hours, bro.
Factual.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, some big names in it, big budget. Let's get into it, man. First things first. Hey, who the fuck just walked in this door, man?
No pun intended, right? We got Mr. John
Fire.
representing Fat Women Are Elite. Man, John, you got a couple words for the people, man? What's up?
It's my boy Johnny. Bruce,
Shit,
got the
John.
picture of John?
Yo, what's the word? How you doing, guys?
Oh, yeah. What's happening, John?
It's
What's
Mr. Turn Your Bitch Frown Upside Down. They call me BB. Y'all know my motherfucking slogan is Big Brah. Let's get
it. Let's go. So,
real quick. Not Slim. KT, I wanted to comment on something that you said. You said you was reading this book back in 2013 when this was about to come out. So I actually read this book in 2010 in language arts class. I was a sophomore. And so this movie wasn't out yet. We had watched the old shit from the 70s, for class, after we read the book, we watched the movie and shit like that. And I was a fucking stupid high school kid. I wasn't fucking paying attention. Like, but like looking back on it is definitely a great fucking book. And now looking at this, because I've seen this one other time, and now looking at it again, I definitely have a different perspective as being they don't want to be saved. Don't save her. They don't want to be saved. J. Cole watched The Great Gatsby and then wrote that song, bro. These hoes don't want to be saved. They don't. They really don't.
Hey, you know what? The crazy thing about this movie is that, and I feel what KTO said about different walks of life is going to bring you somewhere else when you watch this flick. Because I think one of the things they did masterfully was contend with a lot of themes of that go-getter, chase your dream, American dream shit that everybody can kind of identify with. But there's a lot wrapped up in the American dream. There's love, there's deception, there's greed, there's obsession, and all that shit mixed up. So it's something going on you're going to catch on to that resonates with you, I think, for a lot of people who watch this movie.
Luno, if I may, like a part of what you just said, you know, the American dream, the chase and the go-getting, a part of the theme of this movie too, you know, it was the 1920s, you know, it was the Roaring Twenties. Motherfuckers was out there, you know, they had bootleg alcohol, they was just living frivolously, etc. Like that was part of it too, is like motherfuckers were really just out there chasing what the fuck they wanted. You know what I'm saying? Like with no real regard for the future, I'm doing what makes me happy today type shit. You know, and what I think is kind of interesting, you know, I kind of draw a parallel. Like motherfuckers say that, you know, trends have a history to repeat themselves and whatnot. And I kind of feel like the 2020s is somewhat echoing the sentiments of the 1920s. I feel like we might have come full circle 100 years later.
So the parallel between those 2 years specifically is with the Roaring Twenties and the 2020s. So the Roaring Twenties, that's like, is that before or after the Great Depression? Just a reminder.
It was at the it was like literally at the same time.
It was after.
So World War I, World War II was around that
so
time.
Boom. America came into a hell of a lot of fucking money. So niggas went to turning up and shit. Niggas went to just making it rain on everything. You see
the stock market was booming, Roots.
Right. In which they showed in this, I don't think this was happening back then, but they had niggas riding around in motherfucking with the chopped off coupe and shit with bottles of Moet in the motherfucking car and shit. Like just bottles and bottles of Moet just driving down the street reckless as fuck. I don't believe that was happening, but parallel that to this, you know what I'm saying? COVID came through, fucked some shit up for some niggas. Niggas came through with that PPP loan, and niggas went to turn it up with the money and shit. Niggas went to making it rain on every motherfucking thing.
Yep.
So
hey, real quick, is that my dog, Lordy Lord?
Yeah, talk to the people, man. What's up, man?
Big
we got Lord in the building, man.
I would like to say Slim would have introduced me as soon as he see me. This new host is ass. I appreciate it.
I'm not gonna lie, he probably would have.
Hey, Slim would have made you wait in the back room
made
for
you
about 3 minutes.
yourself. Hey, who the fuck walked in here?
I am Lordy Lord, and I'm just listening, man. PPP loans, all kinds of Great Depression, whatever the fuck y'all talking about. I'll join in eventually. Continue.
Man. So,
but that's kind of the theme of the movie. Do y'all want to Luno? Do you have a point you want to get off before I talk about this?
I mean, the exposition of the movie has a lot to do with this. I mean, you get the dude Nick Calloway. What's his name? Nick Carraway. Nick Carraway. Yeah. He's an average working man or whatever, but he's seen the good life. He's seen what that shit look like. He in a bum ass crib. He trying to sell bonds to get his shit right because.
Like his family got money, you feel me? Like he see folks around him with bread.
Oh yeah, but he didn't have no type of bread. That's why he was going crazy in these bonds. Upright dude. He showed up to work every day on time. He's making his calls and he don't really get out too much. But you see other people
living next he's living next door to folks in mansions. He living in a little groundskeeper cottage, $80 a month. He say.
$80 a month.
Right, $80 a month mansion,
fire,
bro.
Boy. $80 a month is fire.
$80 a month back then was probably about $200 now, though. To be fair, you know.
Yeah.
Which is still gracious to live in New York. He lived in Long Island. I stay in Long Island.
Bro, Luno, he lived not fucking 400 feet from a mansion.
Yeah.
That shit might have been 10 feet, bro. Like,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm being like gracious, but like,
yeah. You know what I'm saying? But Yeah, man, he's seeing the other side. Like he's sitting there being one of these niggas chasing that American dream, and that shit is miles and light years away from that nigga. But he sees the good life right there across the bay, right there next door and shit. You know what I'm saying? And that's and what I like about this movie too is that it's kind of told from the narrative perspective, because I think they wanted to keep kind of close to how the book sort of adds something to the scenes by like using like a lot of poetry and talk, narrative. But I like how we following this nigga who's basically in a therapy session. I don't know if KTL you wanted to get into kind of how you set this bitch up.
To what you just said, I'd like to make 2 points real quick. First things first. Whenever we read this book, my English teacher, she made the point as well that like this shit is all told from the perspective of Nick Carraway and whatnot. So like he is the narrator, and in stories you generally like tend to take what the narrator says at face value because they're telling you a story. This is the only information you have to go off of. But there's certain instances, and we'll get into it later, where motherfuckers like he is an inconsistent, unreliable narrator is what it's called. A motherfucker has some inconsistencies in his story, and I think that's like something that's kind of cold if you pay attention to it.
Well, what's one of those inconsistencies?
Okay, so like a motherfucker starts out like the movie starts out where he's in a sanatorium. I don't know how it's pronounced, but a motherfucker is he's diagnosed as like a morbid alcoholic, and all of this shit. And so like throughout the movie, like he at one point says he's like, this was only the second time I'd ever gotten drunk, but we see motherfucker just throwing shots back, bro. Thanks. Like through the movie type shit. You know what I'm saying? Another time, like he starts the movie off, he talks about how his dad used to tell him, always try to see the good in people. He says, so like, I, as a consequence, I always try to see the good in people. I try to refrain from judgment and shit. But he's definitely judging folks through this movie.
Factual.
You know what I'm saying? So like it's those types of things, and that doesn't like necessarily impact my opinion of the character.
Who was he judging?
Huh?
Who was he judging?
These pieces of shit.
People who walked in the room with him and didn't want him to leave. I don't think he was judging them.
No,
not like
we'll
that.
get into it in a little
Yeah,
bit.
that's probably just showing a little bit more like a subconscious insight on the character he really is. You know what I'm saying?
Like, he never saw no shit like that.
Well, look, there's a saying they kept on going back to though, right? Which was that whenever he was in the heat of the moment, he's getting lost at the party, he's getting lost. You know what I'm saying? He said that he feels inside and outside of himself.
Within and without.
Because he was looking outside the window. He see all these niggas in the windows and all these niggas on the block, and what they doing is out for the open for everybody to see. But he also saw himself out there on that curb watching niggas live it up as a regular nigga too. So this, like Kulos was just saying, like he don't know nothing about this.
Part of that shit too, Luno, is like I took that, during this watch through as like a motherfucker was just drunk as fuck. Like he was like, because you have an out of body. You ever been so drunk you had an out of body experience damn near?
No, not once.
Yes,
Kulos, I'm not gonna lie. You might live like that. You might forgot what it's like.
Maybe
I have on many grams of shrooms before.
Hilarious.
But not on alcohol.
But the other point that I wanted to make, and then we're gonna get into the movie, is that like Nick Carraway talks about like like as it goes on through the movie, he doesn't want to tell the story no more. So the motherfucker tells him, "Hey, go write the story." And he says, "You used to be a writer." So he said, "I wasn't very good at it. Nobody else was fucking with it. I wasn't very good." But I ain't gonna lie, like seeing these sentences, these like things of imagery and ways that he describes some shit, that motherfucker might have like just not had confidence in himself. He might have been a cold ass.
Might have been cold as shit. Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but all right, so. Before we get we're about to get into the movie, do y'all want to talk about the cast, or would y'all rather do that as we go along?
We could do it as we go
right here.
I'm about to say I don't even think we really need to pull it up like that, Roots. Like motherfucker,
we know everybody by their face,
bro. Everybody know Leo. All that shit he been in, man. I think Leo.
Because Leo is Leo. Like I ain't got no problem with Leo. We all know Leo. No problem.
The best nigga ever.
Is he?
He's definitely one of them niggas.
To me.
However,
one of them niggas.
I'm not
Tobey Maguire is who I really wanted to talk about for this.
He is a
that
dog.
Nigga is the GOAT, bro.
He is a dog.
He was
that.
What did he do?
Let me look at Because we know Spider-Man. I know there's another movie.
Seabiscuit, bro. Come on, that nigga was in Seabiscuit.
I've never seen Seabiscuit, but I remember that trailer every fucking.
That movie is cold as fuck. We got dragged by a horse and all type of shit.
He was in a movie called Brothers, I think. With
I was just about to talk about that. So him and Brothers is crazy, but I think I may have this performance over the Brothers performance.
I'm not mad.
Nah, bro. You hear nigga and brother? Remember he said, "You know what these fucking ass been through? You know what the fuck I did?"
Yeah, hell yeah.
He went crazy, bro.
Yeah, but I don't know, John, because in this motherfucker, he's like, hey, get the hell out of here!
That was wild, bro.
He had one of them scenes too, facts.
This nigga wasn't shit in this movie. I don't know what y'all talking about.
That's cap.
Well, we can get into it, man. Well, here's the thing, right?
I want to hear what Paul's disagreement is.
I know what he's gonna say.
Well, what did he do though? Like, I don't remember him doing shit. He's standing around.
I'm talking about
so
Paul's acting.
Yeah, he's a good actor. Like, I feel like basically what this movie is him watching people's vices like unfold. You know what I'm saying?
Watching the movie through his eyes.
Okay.
He kind of narrated, and he's also there in the situation too. I feel like that shit's cool. And also with him, like he kind of like somebody who confirms the energy in a space. You know what I'm saying? When things is lit and lively, he's smiling and giddy. When shit's awkward and dramatic, he's there looking uncomfortable.
I see that.
He's like the median for the energy and the vibe in the room.
Yeah,
he is. Pause in advance. But like in comedy, there is such a thing called pause, the straight man, and a motherfucker. It's a motherfucker.
Think that's pause.
Yeah, but I'm saying like you know, as opposed to what? Like I know somebody was gonna say as opposed to what? But the straight man in comedy is like the motherfucker who basically like while all the jokes is flying, like he is the balancing out. You know what I'm saying? The real world opinion. So Tobey Maguire within this movie, he is a cold storyteller, but he like you're seeing it through his eyes. So he's a passenger in the story of that everyone else is currently telling.
Yes.
You feel what I'm saying? And so, like, he doesn't, I know what Puos is saying. He doesn't have very many cold feats in here, but he is great at what his role is, in my opinion.
Well, I give him that. I agree with that.
And what's crazy, too, is that the fact that he's a witness to shit, right, is, like, very crucial to this movie. One funny thing I seen that they did, which, unfortunately, I got to get my artistic bag to, like, analyze this, and it's kind of fucking embarrassing, but they essentially made him being a fucking cuckold a metaphor. Which is wild as fuck, son.
That's
this nigga used to quote unquote love watching back in college.
That's what a motherfucker told. But he said it wasn't true, so I don't know.
Yeah, he said that shit wasn't true.
Like,
but every cuck is gonna say it's not true, man. He a cuck, bro.
That's a fact. Like if you on that shit,
goddamn
you gotta keep that shit. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not a cuck. Fuck no.
That's what a cuck would say.
And for it to be a cuck, only gotta be his girl.
Found logic. Yeah, you got that.
You said what?
For it to be a cuck, only gotta be his girl.
No, not necessarily.
Well, yeah, I guess.
Well, yeah,
I don't know the rules of cuck shit. So somebody explain.
Puos makes a good point.
No, he make a good point. So like Puos, like, would you consider
he's
a nigga
a pervert?
If he'll watch somebody else pipe they bitch, does that make him a cuck?
I think that does, no?
Hold on.
That's just him watching porn in real life.
That's what I was about to say, KTL. Like, shit.
Yeah, because but I think what it really is, isn't it like Adam 22 shit, right? He's watching his own bitch get boned.
Yeah, but like,
that's your own bitch, though.
So if he's watching someone else, then nah, bro. You just
a pervert.
Yeah, you're just a perverted ass bitch.
Yeah, he did nothing cuckish in this whole movie.
Okay, yeah, he not a cuck, man. He just like to watch bitches.
But also, what was the
just
point?
for us to get a full.
The point is
matter of fact, didn't he try to leave when he heard nigga knocking a bitch off? He was trying to get up out of there. He
they left his bitch ass in there with that dog. Like
he was trying to relapse, bro.
He put the definition on the screen.
Damn, they made the
screen. I'm cast man and definition man, but it says a weak or servile man.
Beta.
Yeah, basically a beta. Hilarious. But it actually doesn't say anything.
It says used as a contemptuous term for a man with moderate or progressive political views.
Those
A man
liberal
whose wife
cucks.
is sexually unfaithful.
But Luno, what
Damn,
was the
wait,
point you were
hold on.
making here with this?
Hold on, real quick. It says
Mhm.
a man whose wife is sexually unfaithful. So that means if your bitch cheat on you, you a cuck.
Yes,
Nah,
well, like, okay,
no,
so
you.
then
Nah, I don't think
there's
so.
another movie that like I've watched where a motherfucker literally like he's in a bar like drunk as shit because his wife like fucked a bitch behind his back, and he's telling everybody in the bar, he said such and such cuckolded me. He made me a cuckold.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, man.
But look, the reason why I brought it up though is because basically this nigga's penchant for observing niggas, for keeping an eye on the situation and what's going on. They might have used a grotesque like way of getting into that, but throughout this movie,
To show
he
that
is
there's
the-
no limits to it.
yeah, he's the observer.
There's
He's
no
seeing.
limit.
You know what he said at one point in the movie? He said, "Once again, I find myself in a situation where I'm keeping somebody else's secrets." You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
And it happened multiple times during that story.
The writing is so
That's
good
a
on this
sick
movie,
way to
dog.
live, man.
I
The
agree,
writing-
John,
the
but I
writing is
like
so
it's
good.
relatable. I've been in that
Me
type
and
of
everybody's
scenario
ear
before.
is trash, bro.
I'm like that. I'm like that too, nigga. I don't be telling nobody secrets.
Yeah, I'm the same way, but I don't like. It's like okay, they tell me the shit, I remember it, but once they out my face, I don't give a fuck no more.
Yeah,
Right.
it kind of just goes away unless
Yeah.
you're reminded of that shit.
Yeah,
What did
his
y'all
ass
think
just-
of previous Real Rap Coalition? You know, I guess guest is the right word. Joel Edgerton as Tom Buchanan. Previously, he was on The Gift.
I ain't gonna lie, I
That
fucked
was
with him
him?
too.
Mm-hmm.
I fucked with him too, and that's crazy. Look, so
He was
clearly got like
the bad guy, quote unquote. I can't
all
remember
was
his name.
necessary,
Pools.
but he got like
Buchanan?
buffed up for this shit, which is why
No,
he
I'm
looked
talking
so
about in The
different.
Gift, Pools.
Oh,
Nah,
there
but
we go.
KTL, I'll say that I fucks with him.
Hold
in
on
the
a
sense,
second, Luno. What'd you say, Roots?
Okay.
Now I was saying clearly his body structure is different for this movie. He's like more
Yeah, that motherfucker got
swole.
swole for this role.
Yeah, which is weird because he don't do no swole nigga shit in this.
Hell no.
So, like
You don't gotta be swole. He just got a bad bitch.
He
and
almost
money.
got his ass beat. Like,
facts, he
But
did.
he
all
wasn't
that.
scared though. He
He
wasn't
did that on
scared though.
purpose.
He definitely
wasn't
look.
scared,
He
though.
He did a crazy nigga move. Like as soon as nigga grabbed his shirt and shit, he kind of let him look like how he was supposed to let him look, and then he got in that nigga face like all the like forehead to forehead type shit. Like
that's
yeah,
a fact.
How
But,
y'all
like,
know
I
he
don't know
wasn't
if that's
nigga?
tough.
He wasn't
bro.
shook, nigga. He wasn't shook.
Exactly, Luno.
I don't know if that's tough though, because like
Yes,
if a
it is.
motherfucker would have
It-
started
Okay,
waylaying your
KTL,
shit, you know
KTL. If
what
I
I'm
go
saying?
to you in front of your wife, and I say your wife doesn't love you, she loves me.
That's a
Nothing you
fact.
could do could ever get her. And then
Mhm.
I give you tears, like I hit your glass with my glass and walk off, and you about to punch me, and I don't flinch.
I
Nigga, that
win.
nigga's
Well,
cold.
I'm
I
not
don't,
about to-
I,
I'm
'cause
not-
I
I'm not
don't think
about to
I
punch
agree
you.
with
that
that.
I'm
might
snuff
listen,
you,
bro.
nigga.
That
Nah, I
might
agree.
be equivalent. That might be equivalent to a nigga pulling a gun on a nigga, and the nigga that got the gun aimed to him like, nigga, you ain't gonna shoot shit. Fuck,
Well,
nigga.
so here's my
Shoot
problem.
that
Is
shit.
that, like,
For real,
when he-
Root.
well,
Fuck, nigga.
hold on. We'll get to the scene when we get to it, right? But
Yeah.
all right. So,
Yeah.
I was just more so asked. So yeah, like Joel Edgerton returning, guest on the Real Rap Coalition podcast, etc.
Yeah.
He
yeah.
was definitely the dickhead in this whole. You know what I'm saying? Like
Was
he
he
was.
though?
One of them. One of them.
Pools,
on.
I didn't realize it. Like when I was watching, I was like, "Damn, I forgot they had this racist ass shit in this movie."
Okay.
These motherfuckers
yeah.
talking
It's
about.
1920. Who gives a fuck?
Okay.
But I forgot about it. Like they did it multiple times. I thought it was a one-off joke. Now, they
Okay,
did it
hold on.
It was two.
Hold on. Okay, he might be racist. He don't want black people to marry white people. Okay,
But
fine.
no,
That's not all he said. That's not all he said. Don't do that. That's not all he said.
That's not
What he say?
racist.
What
That's
else?
just
I got
preference.
another point though, but what he say?
What, John?
Real quick though, this nigga on his tie, he had a button right with a
That's
tooth on it. He said, "Look at that human molar."
That ain't him. That wasn't him.
That was him.
No, that wasn't him. That wasn't him. That wasn't him.
That was him.
That was
Wolf. That was Wolfshire.
Oh, my fault.
Wolfshine, yeah.
Back in the day, they used to be taking black niggas' teeth and just putting it on their
Well,
shit.
that was Wolfshire doing that shit.
I
Wearing
never assumed
niggas'
that
teeth
was
on
a
your
black
lapel
person.
was
I
a
assumed
thing,
that he
nigga.
was like a
Black
mobster.
roots. That is insane.
I'm not gonna lie, that
He
sounds
cut somebody's
demonic,
tooth
bro.
out. Like I didn't
Wow.
assume that was just a black person. Like I thought that he just like he was a mobster or some
Yeah,
shit.
that was
Somebody
some
ain't pay him his money, so he
gangster
took
shit,
their
bro.
tooth.
It might have been a nigga, but it might have been a white person. But
Could've been.
niggas was definitely wearing niggas' teeth around
They
that.
used to
around
talk
that-
about back in the day how they used to try and do human zoos. Rich niggas would take like a bunch of niggas or whatever off the street
Yeah,
and shit
facts.
and have them like in cages and shit. Like,
This
like
was
make them-
around
that
that.
used to
This
be
was
they
around
shit.
that
But this
Roaring
the thing,
20s
though.
time, bro.
My man's wasn't on that. He just didn't want black and white people to get married.
Get
That's
Yeah,
together.
that's
it.
why I
I
have
just
to stop you.
Pools,
Hold on,
like it
that's why I
wasn't
had to
even
stop you
that.
from
Like he
earlier,
said that
because-
shit. but he definitely walked up like to the fucking one of the black butlers and shit
and
and started fucking with him while he was saying it. I was like, bro, what the fuck?
But look, that's not the only thing he said. The first time that he said some racist shit was while him and the bitch was sitting at dinner or whatever the fuck, and he said we have to control the black race, otherwise, or he said all of these other minor races,
the dominant race, like
to control all of these minor races, because otherwise they'll take control.
Roots, he was talking about reading a book called The Rise of the Colored Empire, like.
Yeah, he just scared of black people, bro.
He was just trying to make a joke, man.
He wasn't trying to make no.
Okay, fuck it. Let's say he racist, but y'all say he a dickhead.
What makes him a good actor is that he was a man of his times, very sincerely, right?
Okay, my point exactly. Man of his
he
times.
He was a rich cunt, bro. Like,
but no, he wasn't. Like he didn't do shit. Like, bro, all the nigga did like was be upset that somebody trying to fuck his wife. I don't see the issue.
You can't be.
He also sicked the nigga on the nigga that was trying to,
sicking a nigga on somebody is crazy.
That's exactly what he did. He said, "Get him. We gonna have to pay that nigga. He killed your wife, bro.
You ain't gonna kill my man.
Hey, Pujols, here's what I'm saying, bro. Like, and I know we have a different moral understanding of it, right? You know, we don't really give a fuck about a whole lot, but to the regular world, you can't be mad. I mean, you can be mad at whatever you want, but it's hypocritical to be mad that a motherfucker out here like trying to fuck your wife when you out here fucking somebody's wife.
Boy, like, if you don't shut your ass up, boy, I don't know what the fuck you talking about.
Like I've done that shit several times. That don't bother me. But I 100%
nigga finna make me mad in here.
Like, get mad, bro. Let's go.
Mad, bro.
Yeah, let's argue.
You just told me I can't be mad because I'm fucking another bitch and a nigga fucking my wife.
You're not just fucking another bitch. You're fucking somebody else's wife. The exact same thing that you are mad that somebody would do to you, you are doing to someone else. You are putting the energy into the world that you are receiving.
I don't give a fuck, nigga.
Smoking you.
Nigga can't. I'm fucking somebody's wife. Nigga can't fuck my wife. Nigga.
That's my point. Like, that's
crazy, bro.
Is it not only that? Not only that. Nigga, fuck my wife and killed my mistress. Suck my dick. You
but no. Hold on.
He did.
He didn't know that, but his wife killed his.
Yeah, his wife killed that bitch.
Man, I don't.
And he did know.
Well, then the wife gotta die, man.
They had to talk about it.
Daisy pulled off on that. Like, nigga, you was in the car while my wife killed my mistress. I'm upset now. Somebody got to die.
Yeah.
Somebody else gotta die, bro.
He didn't even do nothing, bro. He let a motherfucker go get active for him, and then his wife.
I'm the nigga with the money.
So he ran.
He got it like that, bro.
Nobody could be out there trying. Just like at the start, they had just come for. Hey, I get it. Nobody.
What I do it myself, KTL. I got money. Go see this bum ass.
They had just run off from Chicago because some shit had happened bad where he was fucking some bitch and shit. You know what I'm saying? Now he didn't like. He got to move again. Damn, bro, how many times you gonna like cheat on your bitch?
Real quick though, let me say this real quick though. This nigga Gatsby is a G though. Yeah, I'm about to fuck your wife, but yo, I got another mistress for you. You can go over the back. Do you mind terribly? You know what I'm saying? This nigga said, hey, it's a bad bitch over there. You know what I'm saying? I'll hook you up, you know, in case. And his wife was like, here's a
that is kind of clean though.
I fuck some bitches' numbers and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
that's kind of clean,
bro. Hey, I gotta do it, bro. Let's get it out the way now,
nigga, bro.
What's up?
Let's get out the way now. Go ahead, Pujols, man. Did it bother you this time around the scene?
I mean, you know, let's be honest. And give me 2 minutes to talk real fast.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is why it.
Yes, 31.
The floor is yours, brother. Go ahead.
It didn't bother me because that was 9 years ago. That's number one. Number two, before we even seen Leo, everybody in the party was dick sucking him. So like, I think maybe the girl I was watching it with was hypnotized by the scenes. They like, oh, this nigga was a spy. Oh, he's an assassin. Oh, that nigga did this. Oh, he's the greatest. So maybe she just felt like, damn, I should dick suck bro too in front of you. So everybody was just dick sucking him before.
You think maybe he was just really clean?
Well, initially I was like, okay, yeah, buddy, clean as hell. Until I seen him with that first scene with Daisy. I was like, oh, this nigga ass. He can't fuck with me.
You know what? I'll say that. So Gatsby, the way they built him up before we get to see him on screen, they built him up by his reputation. The exact example of your reputation precedes you. Sometimes the way niggas talk about you might be more powerful than the nigga itself. You feel me? I think this nigga was somebody shrouded in mystery, but he had a lot of
great weapon.
Yeah, but he had this castle, and he had niggas. Let me just say, yo, this movie cinematically, visually was. It stands up the test of time. 2022, you drop 2023, you drop this shit, and it's still like one of the best looking movies. You know
this was a blockbuster movie for 2013.
Could drop that bitch tomorrow.
Tomorrow, nigga, and that shit would pop the
Hold on, I'm gonna look something up.
Hey, I bet you this will beat the shit out of Flash.
Probably. I ain't never saw Flash.
Let's see.
Good.
That shit on HBO Max right now, and I just will not click
don't
that
watch it. Don't click it at all.
I decided to
it's terrible.
I decided to look this bitch up, bro. The 2013 Great Gatsby had a budget of $104.5 million, bro.
Shit.
So this was
What it make?
Hold on, I'll look. Let's see.
Hopefully 200 million.
I guess I would just look up gross. What it gross?
Yeah.
Box office 2013.
Over 353 million worldwide.
Triple your original jug. That's right. This movie right here was mad high budget, but it paid off. There's so much like little details and shit and everything visually. Plus, it's the 1920s, right? And one thing about this movie when I first watched it, the 2013 version, was that they integrated like new current shit with like the time that they were occupied in. So when they pulled up to the crib and like Jay-Z was playing,
I was definitely what I was about to say.
Kanye,
I think
a lot of Kanye.
Hey, hold on. So I actually wanted to say
the rest of us.
I actually wanted to say something about that. Not that it confused me. It was cringy just a little bit for me.
Not too.
And I remember because that album, I want to say that's
Watch the Throne.
Yeah, Watch the Throne had just came out.
Yep.
No, it didn't.
This shit. What did it not? What year?
Watch the
Throne came out 2011, bro.
Yeah, it's 2011.
That still just came out for
2013, 2011. No, it's not, brother.
For as big as that album was, that shit was still kind of fresh.
I give you that because it probably was shot in 2012, 2011. So I give you that.
Yeah.
So go ahead, Roots.
So but it was throwing me off a little bit, but like as the movie went on, it was like, okay, I get what they're doing. Like it was the same shit with the when we watched what's the cowboy shit we just watched? Young Guns. When it's the time that they're portraying mixed with the current times of now.
Well, yeah. So I'll say,
but it took me a little minute to get used to it, but I was fucking with it by the end of the movie.
I think, like I say, like some of us on here are not the hugest Jay-Z fans. You know what I'm saying?
No, fuck Jay-Z.
Just kind of, like he okay.
I used to fuck Jay-Z.
I will say, Reasonable Doubt is a classic album, though. That album is fucking fire.
Yeah, I respect his contributions, but I'm just not a fan of the music as much. But I think Luno is more of a Jay-Z fan than most of the rest of us.
Yeah, he's from New York.
I'll say this, like, I think Jay-Z is the perfect artist to have, like, be used for the soundtrack of some shit like this. Because the motherfucker, like, catalog is generally just flossing with some big money ass shit. And so,
I think it might be the Great Gatsby of rap.
Bro, I was about to say, bro, over Jay Gatsby and all these other rich folks, like, doing some rich ass shit with Jay-Z playing in the background and, like, some, like, wild, shot beautiful set pieces. That's a crazy aesthetic.
That's what I was trying to get at though, KTLs, because they could have played like the whack ass folk shit. No,
some sambo
music. But that shit don't slap. That shit don't slap. You know what I'm saying? So if you want to convey to a 2000s audience some 1920s old money and really how impactful that shit was back then, how else would you do it? But you know what I'm saying? That's what you know what I'm saying. Make me feel like there's a lot of money going on. You know what I'm saying? So it works. But if somebody doesn't like it, I also
Jay-Z come on talking about on the mausoleum floor.
AZ would have been fire though.
Damn, dog. Like, all right.
I was noticing that because they played like 2 Watch the Throne songs. I'm like, but they didn't play whole verse though. They was just playing Kanye shit, and then they played like a Jay-Z only song. I'm like, why the fuck they? At first I was like, did Kanye only give them niggas the rights to this shit? And like, but then they played some Jay-Z shit, so I was like, what's happening? What the fuck
they
going
did?
on?
So like, there was a couple of times. One time in particular was when they went through the barbershop, which this was fire as fuck to me. They went through the barbershop to get to the like underground club type shit. That shit was fire. But they did it like they played the Jay-Z shit, then they played the little 20 shit, and then they went right back into the Jay-Z shit.
What song was it?
Well, the bitches that was on stage, they was singing a Jay-Z.
It was $100 bills. It was $100 bills.
Yeah,
I don't think I know that song.
I was like, that's clean. Like them bitches was singing a Jay-Z song. I was like, that's clean.
And they was like throwing some modern day shit in there too, because bitches was not popping. Bitches was not popping ass. Bitches was not shaking ass like that in the 20s, bro. Like
niggas like kind of like. This is like I kind of like I said I fake seen this shit years ago, but I didn't pay attention. But I thought the girl with the black hair was gonna have a bigger scene. Like she just disappeared.
Yeah,
like yeah, she just disappeared.
Well,
like,
that's kind of how it is. Like in the book story too, though. Like she is the least important of the 5 central characters.
Damn.
But like you know what I'm saying. Like she just like I guess. Nick Carraway's side bitch, damn near. Like, you know,
I'm gonna share something on the screen right quick. Just let me know if that should pop up.
Pause.
Jesus Christ!
Right, come on, John. I'm sorry.
But yeah, man, the mansion itself went on the market and shit in 2017. Apparently, dog, for $85 million.
Bro, that's so
That's
clean. Look
crazy,
at that aerial
crazy,
view.
bro.
That shit is fire, though. I might have to buy that.
Of,
is there a contact info there? I might have to get that shit, bro. Let me know.
Oh, good luck, nigga. Look at this shit.
He said, "Good luck."
Hey,
Good
John,
luck.
I'm gonna need
tennis
good
court,
luck, bro.
Hey, John, let me know if you need the Rolls Royce back so you can pawn that hoe, bro.
Yeah, I got you, bro. I'll let you know. Nah, I keep that shit, bro. That's all you.
Appreciate you, big dog.
Yes, sir.
But hey, speaking of aerial view, bro, like probably one of the coldest shots to me. I don't know how they did that, bitch. Is when you first see Nick Carraway and he walking in the fucking stock market shit, and they do that joint where they're running down the side of the skyscraper from looking, you know, in the sky. Y'all know what I'm talking about? That shit is so fucking cold to me.
They did that a couple of times. They did that shit with the plane shit whenever they first went over into town and shit.
Yeah,
that shit was clean as fuck.
Where the bridge was and shit.
There was so one thing I pay attention to is transitions whenever I'm watching like movies and shit. And I actually noticed something in the beginning and the end. So in the very beginning, when they're opening the movie up, right? It starts with the GG for Great Gatsby. It's in silver and shit, and there's a whole lot of gold going on around it. And it shrinks and it turns into that green light. But at the end of it, it starts with the green light and then goes in reverse to the fucking silver shit out to the gold shit. I thought that was fucking fire, bro.
Oh yeah,
that little 5-10 seconds was dope as fuck to me.
Nah, that's a cold ass cinematic choice. I ain't gonna lie to you.
But look, man, this movie here had this like sort of theme of the past and the future, right?
Well, yeah, Luno, can we just like give we don't have to go through every scene, but let's give a brief synopsis of this bitch, and we'll break down our thoughts as we go through. So,
I mean, ultimately, it is the story told from the perspective of Nick, basically about how Gatsby was extremely influential on his life, and also how confused it made him because he was exposed to a lot of the harsh sort of realities, of life, of that big money and all the other shit. I mean, can I just say this out the blue? Like, no matter how much money you have, it's really creepy that you bought a castle across from your ex-bitch's crib.
Definitely.
Yes, definitely. That's stalking, no matter what. Whether it's an apartment or a fucking mansion, it's stalking, bro.
I agree with you, Roots, but is it still stalking if the bitch is going?
Yes.
Once she starts going, the stalking stops. However,
but like while you're not talking to that bitch,
like
you standing out at the end of the dock looking at the light and some
nigga reaching out and shit, all emotional in the rain and shit. Like you being weird, bro.
Boys, let me say this though. Like with that bitch, she's such a little indecisive little, porcelain princess, dog.
That's a fact.
Like any kind of fallible piece of shit. Why you got a picture of mulatto? I don't know. Shout out mulatto. Huckatron says he had to keep peeping on his lady. That's a fact.
That nigga look like a sandwich.
But Huckatron,
Hey,
he talking about mulatto.
I don't care who he talking about.
Oh, you thinking that because you eat sandwiches? That's where y'all mind went, right? That's where y'all mind went.
Because his head look like bread, bro.
I got a question. Is it not gay because you don't eat sandwiches? Is that what it is?
Hey, Luno, Roots, Roots, Puo said you eat sandwiches, right? That's what
That's
you
where your
do
mind
with him.
going. Yeah, that's
That's
where your
what you
mind
do.
That
going.
nigga don't look like a sandwich, bro.
gotta
Like,
see
look at this
Yeah,
nigga.
don't say that again. Like,
He do, bro. I believe it.
But
Look at it. Just look at him. Do he look like a sandwich?
no.
Nah, but look,
That's cap.
listen,
go
yo,
ahead.
Daisy, she really wouldn't have been in this situation. The nigga Gatsby just kind of pulled up on her, embraced who he was, and the shit he had to do to get up there. You know what I'm saying? And just return to her after whatever.
Man, that Daisy bitch is
Um,
symbolic of a lot of women I've like come across in the world where like a lot of women they'll be in a relationship and they're unhappy because of different reasons. In this specific one, it was like her man is cheating on her a whole bunch and etc. But like she at the end of the day, it's a lot of talking about how the grass is greener on the other side. They don't actually intend to leave this man who is causing them so much problems. They just want something that makes them feel good, feel important, feel loved again. And however temporary it is, they want things to stay in a certain manner. Like they don't really want to have these conflicts in their life and whatnot and uproot themselves.
In which I want to let me get an ISO for like 2 minutes or so.
Yeah. All right, bro, back to you at 43.
Listen, bro. I don't give a fuck what you see her go through. If her man beating on her, that's fucked up. Yes. If he cheating on her, yes, that's fucked up. Yes. If she fuck with you, she fuck with you for 5 minutes, bro. Because at the end of the day, she's going back home to him.
Correct.
So don't go chasing this bitch, trying to save her. Because guess what? She don't want to be saved.
Don't save her.
She don't want to be saved. Don't save her.
That's all I got.
That was a poetic right there, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. Good shit.
So, like, all right, like I said,
if
bro.
I want your bitch, I want your bitch. I ain't gonna love to.
I understand. Who else? But you gotta understand that not everybody, not every bitch is just like ready to leave.
Yo, John, what is up?
Just want to throw it.
Not for you, brother.
Don't be that hero.
Bro,
don't be that hero, Huckatron. Salute to you for chilling.
I'm low key colder than that nigga KTL. The way he reacted when he first seen that bitch, I'm colder.
Yeah, that boy Huckatron said
you'll never be dazed off of bitch.
Luno.
Nah, that'll never happen to me.
That's a fact.
You colder than Jay Gatsby, Puos?
Not like I ain't got
like
that
money
bread
wise,
and shit, but
I'm not that.
But like you know how to carry.
Hey, shout out Huckatron, man. Salute.
Yeah, that's my
hey,
dog.
what's up with you,
Shout out my
Huckatron?
dog,
You want
Huck,
some
man.
other shit, but salute to you, my boy.
Look, y'all got listen, man.
Oh, Huckatron, that's the nigga from what's the name, huh? KTL.
That's my dog, man.
That's that cold ass Call of Duty dude from back in the day.
Yeah.
Oh, that nigga cold in a bitch.
I'm gonna be honest, you can't fuck with me though, bro. Yeah, that's cool. Good shit, Huckatron.
John, that nigga God, ain't gonna pay.
Let's 1v1, Huckatron.
You
Set
that
it up,
nigga,
man.
John.
Set it up. Nah, I want to set it up, man.
That nigga was like 60 and 0. Like
I ain't gonna lie, that nigga was putting us in the backpack, bro. Like we was getting carried. Like,
that nigga had you on the duffel bag or what? Nigga put my duffel bag on y'all.
John, I quit playing after like playing with. I was like, I'll never be this good. I don't want to play this anymore.
I feel it though. Niggas is good as fuck, bro. I can't even lie. So yeah, I believe it. Right?
Man, look, shout out Call of Duty, man. Look, this movie right here though, like the drama and shit that was going on. Honestly, I was fucking with it, even though like you kind of know like what the general like where it's going sort of deal. I like how they did it. Because I feel like pride is like a big part of this movie type shit, dog.
Mm-hmm.
Like. Even if you have all the money and all the bands and shit like that, this nigga stayed obsessed with the same bitch to the point he got scrapbooks of like letters they used to write each other.
He got newspaper clippings and some more shit.
Oh my god, this nigga is like.
But I will say, Luno, like I see both sides of this argument because like there was a point. You know what I'm saying? Like way back when I used to like be lame like this. You know what I'm saying? Not to this extent. I can't lie.
You
yeah,
confessional.
Used to.
We in the confessional, y'all. Subscribe.
No, I mean, bro, like if motherfuckers want to be honest with themselves, bro, like I feel like everybody in here then had a bitch that they just like really like fell down bad behind. You know what I'm saying? You fell in love with a bitch type shit. You know what I'm saying? And it happens.
But like an actual bitch.
Maybe in high school.
Like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, in high school for sure.
Yeah, high school. But niggas wasn't making scrapbooks behind.
That's not what I'm talking about.
Oh hell no.
All I'm saying.
I have money for all
like I understand the argument of like, damn, like I really love this hoe. You know what I'm saying? And like some shit happened, and now, you know, like she gone. Like I really miss this bitch. Like maybe one day I could really like get back with that hoe. And you got to realize, like, as you get older, you realize that shit is not a realistic outcome. But I 100% can understand a motherfucker, like, you know, being down bad because like he fell in love with this bitch type shit. You know what I'm saying? And like he lost that bitch, and he really like want to do some shit to get that hoe back. Like he never
That's a
gave
fact.
Yeah,
up
the
on
best
her.
payback you have to fuck your best friend, bro.
He was
Simple as that.
so
I've done that,
he was
John.
so
Yeah.
lost, in which this kind of just it the shit with Daisy just it tells all you need to know about him as a person. You know,
Yeah.
he is very dream driven. Like if I can dream it, I can do it type nigga, right?
Yes.
So like when it comes to
be
just
fair,
him
Roots,
and
he
him
did. He
doing shit
dreamed
and making
himself into
right,
millions, bro.
100%. So look, when it comes to just him and his ability, and nobody else is around to block, you know, whatever the fuck he trying to do or distract him or anything else, that nigga can clearly do anything he fucking want. Nigga
Hell
went,
yeah, but that's only set for certain
somewhere
people
in
though.
the
Like not
fucking
everybody
desert.
can do that shit either. You know what I'm
Facts.
saying?
We
Like,
just talking about him. We just talking about him. Nigga went from in the
A
middle of
broke ass
North
Dust Bowl
Dakota or some
child.
shit. Like nigga was dead ass broke, poor, and living in a shack with 2 horses and shit. Nigga
damn.
went from that to sailing on the fucking sea over in Europe, going to Oxford, going to the war,
Yeah, that's
getting
fire.
mad
Bro, he's
medals
got
in the war and
millions of
shit.
dollars.
Came
He
back.
hosts a party every night in a mansion with a bunch of strangers
Yeah,
just because he want
but
to
look-
flex, bro. He
but look,
bootlegs
but look, but
shit.
look.
He's involved in all type of like unorthodox ways of making money, bro.
But
This
look, but
motherfucker
so
really
boom.
ran it up.
So
That's
boom,
not true,
everything that he
KTF.
did for himself, he was
Well,
able to
well,
accomplish. But as soon as this bitch come along, like, I ain't gonna lie to you,
He
like
threw those
the-
parties for
now,
her, KTF.
He did, Puos,
he
but that's
the
still
flex,
like
like,
it's still like
it's still
he's
flexing.
able to throw that bread away.
It's still flexing. Like
Oh,
Yeah,
he's
like
flexing for a bitch.
yeah, he
in which-
flexing, hoping
that's another
somebody
lesson.
sees it.
That's
but he's
another
still
lesson,
flexing.
guys. Don't flex for no bitches because they can see it for 5 minutes, but still go home to their fucking apartment.
To be
Like,
fair though, Roots,
that shit don't matter.
this, like him flexing, like that bitch and her man, like they was a rich ass family anyway. So I think
Right.
it'd be a little bit different. Like you know, like I
If she was,
I
yeah,
still
if
believe
she
the
was
bitch will
like
go back,
a
but if
fucking
like
waitress,
if it's a regular, yeah, like if she a waitress and her man's work, you know, at Monica Brothers and shit, you feel me? And like she come around me. And I'm like dropping 100 bands, you know what I'm saying? Buying some shit, like yeah, that bitch going like I'm tricking
she
on this
might
bitch.
go, yeah.
But she definitely like she ain't seen no shit like that, so she, you know, it's probably like more impressive to her. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah,
that's true.
Let's go into some scenes. First scene I want to kind of point out is the scene where he does all
Are
this.
you going in chronological order, Roots?
No.
I'm not really, not from the beginning. I'm
Okay,
just
so
going
okay.
from a
I
random
was just
part.
making
So
sure.
he does all this secretive shit just to ask bro to invite his
Invite her
cousin
to
over
tea.
to tea.
Mhm.
Why?
Hey,
I have no idea.
well,
Like this
Roots,
nigga,
hey,
this nigga was so extra with every
Well,
fucking
clearly,
thing.
well, I
Roots, you
forgot
don't
to
see
mention
why?
this. Puos, I forgot to mention this. We have had this conversation, I think maybe on a podcast, but I know we've had it off air, right? Money does not make a motherfucker cool. It doesn't make you not lame.
No, it don't.
Yeah,
You
we
just
definitely
like
definitely
you know what I'm
will.
saying? And I don't think like Jay Gatsby was just lame, but I think that like he had some lame tendencies that no amount of money in the world could mask. You feel me? Like
I don't even think that. I just think he was like so obsessed with her that he just psyched himself
He
out.
became lame. Like
Yeah,
like, so
he had all this
shit.
money and he invincible in the world of mobsters and bootleggers and some more shit. But as soon as he see a bitch, he fold and get shook, bro. Like and that's really what happened to people.
At the point that they have
they
right. Listen, at the point that they have tea, it's a good, I don't know, 40 minutes into the movie. We seen this nigga do mad clean shit.
Bro, he's driving.
This nigga get in front of a bitch. Whip. He fucked around and knocked the fucking clock over, fucking it up, trying to put it back.
Yeah, I'm like, bro, this can't be the same nigga,
Not
bro.
even before that, Roots, like the bitch came inside and he got shook, went outside, stood in the rain.
Bro,
so, like that bitch wouldn't see him.
That nigga was out of his mind over this bitch, bro. Like he was the cleanest nigga ever till it came to this bitch.
That's what I couldn't understand. But like, bro, you can't be that clean.
Well,
to
be
be
fair though,
bro.
like I love to
that
do
pussy got power, bro.
It got to, bro.
Like, 5 years ago when he seen that bitch, he was a poor ass soldier boy and shit. You know what I'm saying? So in his mind,
Shout out,
probably
Big Soulja.
still thinking that bitch. He's probably still thinking that bitch sees him as this poor ass soldier. Like he done came up. But he don't feel like that around her.
Man,
like that bitch still know who he was, you know?
You could be correct, but I don't.
I think there's a little bit of a deeper kind of dynamic, and I always see the deeper dynamic.
Bro.
But look, here's the idea, right? And I think
you love her, man.
Nick, I think that Nick narrated this really well too. Was that all his life, all of his effort was going towards basically making her happy and trying to get her back and to go back to the past, right? But one thing about desire, is that you spend your whole life chasing something. That moment when you get that thing you're chasing sometimes can be a little bit underwhelming.
It's scary, bro.
It's not just scary, but underwhelming. Right?
Yeah, it don't live up to the hype. Your whole life you're fighting for the shit and you getting it. It's not.
He didn't get it yet though. Like just seeing her is not getting it.
Here's the thing, Puol. He thought that he had it, and what happened? The party stopped at the castle. The lights went out. Who's the mystery? Well, he shut down all his litness and centered everything around that bitch.
Well, yeah, like all the clean shit he had been doing because he had got what he wanted first off. And also, like, he was so focused that he couldn't, like, maintain his other shit. He figured, I don't need this shit for much longer. You feel what I'm saying? But
I ain't gonna lie to you, with the moves that he was making, like, y'all notice every time that he was having them phone calls after he got with her, he was telling them hold on and shit. I feel like they probably would have fucked around and popped his ass if dude didn't get to it. Roots. Here's
what I'm saying, Roots, and I want to go back to a point here in a second. But like, as far as that goes, like, he had built up a whole empire and shit. And yes, it was in the end goal of like chasing this bitch. But beyond that, like it's I liken it to I Am Legend, right? Will Smith in I Am Legend was surviving with his dog for however many years after the world fell apart and got fucked up. A bitch and her kid come around and he's dead within a week. Spoiler. You know what I'm saying? Like a motherfucker had like this cold.
I never heard it said like that, but you're right.
Long, bro. And as soon as the girl comes around and he starts focusing on the girl, he just lets everything else go to shit. So his, like, regardless of like how this ended, whether he was with her or not, like his whole empire had fallen apart. He wasn't going to, like, because he had just given up on it. He you know, he was
fired all his niggas, bro. He fired all them people.
Fired half his servants and shit just because these motherfuckers be talking. In which that's a good reason. If you're trying to be secretive, you probably don't want a whole lot of motherfuckers working for you because all it take is one more mess
say the wrong shit,
and then or say the wrong shit, and now they go and running their mouth in the newspapers and shit.
Hey, Puos, what I wanted to say about that shit a minute ago, bro. Like I say, like for us, it's not as like, you know, we don't understand it as much. Like I understand it, but like maybe y'all are less understanding of it. Like the way that shit, like when him and that bitch works, bro, it's just. And it's a story that's been told as old as time. You know, I liken it to King Kong, like some shit like that. Like a bitch can be a weakness of a motherfucker. Like you can be the strongest shit in the world. Like you see a bitch, you know what I'm saying? If you really like that for her, like you just fold. You know what I'm saying? Like it just is what it is.
My mama.
Hey, listen, from the times of the Bible, bro. What's the strong nigga with the hair and shit?
Goliath.
Not
Samson.
Samson. The powers in my hair, nigga.
Yep,
nigga, powers in my hair, and this bitch steady trying to get the secret, but you still laid up with this bitch every fucking night. Even though every time you hang with this bitch, some niggas run up and try to smoke you.
But what are we supposed to do though? Like, how can you not have
stay solid, bro? Find you.
Hey, it's difficult.
If you gonna have multiple bitches, make sure most of them multiple bitches is solid, bro.
Impossible.
Make sure they're solid, because
you'll never know.
You'll never know for sure. That's a fact. You'll never know for sure. That's a fact. However, you can still put some precautions in the mix to make sure you don't get.
I don't even think it's about the bitch roots. I think it's about like a motherfucker. You know, like most folks they eventually like find that person that like, you know, just be fucking they shit up, you know what I'm saying? And not physically, but like emotionally. Like, motherfuckers don't be thinking straight when it comes to this person. People who be in toxic ass relationships, they still take people back, you know what I'm saying? Like, despite all the like how bad they are for each other, because they don't be thinking straight.
This shit go from the Adam and Eve. Like,
correct.
Adam was straight till Eve came along. God damn.
That bitch made that nigga eat an apple, man.
Didn't even make him. She was like, hey,
nah,
God said, hey, don't fuck with this tree with this apple on it. He was like, I bet. Hey, while you at it, I'm gonna make you this bitch. All right, cool. Damn, this bitch fine as shit. Hey, while y'all down here, don't fuck with this tree and this apple. All right, cool. Bitch, go and eat the apple. Hey, Adam, this shit tastes good as fuck, huh? Now y'all out of motherfucking what's the shit?
That's because that nigga was
out of the garden.
If it was me, I would have told that bitch put that apple down.
But listen, that's what it is with 100% of these stories. Everybody can't be a sucker, but everybody like it ain't like these bitches be doing it on purpose all the motherfucking time.
They
like,
do, bro. They think they have some type of authority over you and shit. Like, you just can't play that shit with their ass. Like, me, I ain't playing that shit.
But like, Roots, you said you had multiple scenes you want to talk about, right? Was that so? That was
right. So that was one. We talked a little bit about the scene in the actually just a testament to how often these niggas was just throwing money around. So this nigga Great Gatsby has a big ass motherfucking mansion.
Facts.
They're hot in this big ass mansion because it's so motherfucking hot outside.
They didn't have AC.
AC wasn't a thing back then. This bitch come up with an idea to avoid some shit. Let's go into town and get a hotel. Why? Y'all just gonna be hot in the hotel now? Y'all just closer together in less rooms. It's only one room now. Like, that shit didn't make no fucking. But that's just a testament to how they was just throwing money around. Because it's not like they got the fucking hotel room for free. That's
a fact.
Like, these niggas was really just reckless as fuck.
Well, they got multiple like hotel rooms or apartments. You know what I'm saying? When Tom's going to fuck with that bitch, you know what I'm saying? She says, hey, can we get the dog for the apartment? He's like, whatever you want. So she just frivolously goes and buys a dog for this apartment that he's got wherever the fuck he's got it, so he can take somebody else's wife and go fuck on that hoe in the secrecy that he wants to, bro.
That's
you know what I'm saying? And they start inviting folks over. Like, she invited like her cousin and some more shit. You know what I'm saying? That was one thing.
That weirdo with the camera.
That bitch. That
nigga can't be there, bro. Hell no. You gotta get the fuck out.
Hey, that bitch put a pill in her mouth and she French kissed that bitch into fucking Nick Carraway, boy. That motherfucker was on pills and drank that day.
That's fire though.
You know how to act,
bro. Being the first time you get drunk, you also off a pill is crazy as fuck.
Bro, that
but
bitch
again,
say it was
these bitches
shit.
be doing some shit.
Relaxer, like, damn,
he just let the hoe drug him, bro.
That's got to be a great experience, though.
Hey, he thought that was a bad bitch, bro. Like,
yeah, bro, I ain't gonna lie, I would have let her drug me too.
I would have been in there, dog. Fuck it.
Hold on. Y'all thought that bitch was fine?
I think she was pretty good.
Mediocre.
I knock it down. I don't know if she's fine, but I'll knock it down.
I'm
mediocre.
I'm in a room with 4 bitches and one trying to put drugs in my mouth and fuck with me. I'm gonna do it.
I'm taking that pill and fucking all of them.
That type of shit.
Fuck at least one.
That type of shit right there is how we be getting fucked over. That type of shit.
Oh no, not me. How you?
That's how Cardi B got them folks, huh?
That's
I'm gonna die in that coochie.
Nigga, look, she just put a muscle relaxant in your mouth, bro. She might run your pockets right after that.
He don't got shit,
bro.
Roots. We just talked about. He don't got shit.
Sorry.
What the fuck this bitch gonna take from me, bro? I'm a regular ass dude with rich friends. Like, you gonna be disappointed.
I'm not gonna lie, I beat the fuck out that bitch, dog.
You take my wallet, $7 and a bus pass.
She getting boxed up, nigga. On my mama, fuck that.
You think I'm not gonna party with some hoes? Like,
John Doe's views
take
do not
these drugs
reflect
and
the
drink
views
liquor.
of the Real Rap Coalition podcast. We do not.
Oh my bad. I thought I was muted. That's my fault.
You definitely could beat a bitch if she do some wild shit.
Yeah, she tried to rob you.
Boy, Tom backhanded that bitch because
that was crazy. Look, and that type of shit was so motherfucking regular back then, bro. Like,
You could do
like
it,
nigga,
bro.
like
Not,
you
like
could
he not only is
as long as you use the backhand, you were straight. Like that was the shit back
let me
then.
explain something to you, Roots, if I may. ISO real quick, man. Tom Buchanan, you know, as much of a dickhead as he was, Tom Buchanan was so quote unquote cold that Myrtle was stuck in the Valley of Ashes, this poor ass fucking coal miner country and shit, right? Tom would ride a train, through this shit, like at any point that he felt like, pick up buddy bitch, take her somewhere else to an apartment and fuck on that hoe. And that bitch was going because she was so poor, she would let him smack the shit out her.
Damn.
And then, you know what I'm saying? Because being beaten on by, hold on, John, because being beaten on by a rich man was better than being happy with your broke ass mechanic husband.
Well,
damn.
Listen to that.
Say, man.
Think about what I just said.
When I looked at her,
real life.
When I first seen her, I was like, okay, you got some type of high quality whore. But when I seen her
high
husband,
quality whore,
I'm like, you picked this bitch with this trash husband.
Well,
this nigga
I'm
dirty
gonna be honest,
as hell.
like it's
get
probably
you a better
a situation
bitch
where like he was lame and he couldn't get a better bitch for real.
He's rich. He could get whatever bitch.
No,
he wants.
I thought you was talking about her husband.
No, not him. He think he got a trophy wife. He got a
but that's what I'm saying, Puos.
Hey, speaking of him, we actually didn't speak on him.
Fuck him.
Fuck
that's
him.
dude. I can't remember his name, but that's dude from Lawless. That was one of the brothers.
Yeah, that's the brother.
That was the oldest brother that was always
Howard.
on the moonshine beating the shit out of niggas.
Oh, for real?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, same nigga. I ain't gonna lie.
Hairline surgery.
He looked like a lame ass nigga in this shit, but like I ain't see him beating the shit out of nobody in this.
He bodied
nigga old constantly.
Yes, but then he bodied himself.
Hey, bro, he at least caught a body.
He's 1-1.
That shit zero out. Like that shit cancel each other out, bro.
Yeah, like nobody even killed you. You killed yourself. So that
your
might be
KD, your KD is like 0.5.
But,
yeah, you're right.
But yeah, like that. So that shit is crazy, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think that like in terms of aesthetics, like some of the coldest scenes, like the party scene, obviously was like lavish and extravagant. You know what I'm saying? All this crazy shit you got going on. That motherfucker is in the middle of like a fountain or whatever. It's like shooting streams of water, you know, hosting a party. You got Cliff Springer ass up there wigging on a piano and shit. You know what I'm saying? You got like all of this, all these different drinks and the lights and the glitz and the glam, the music. You know what I'm saying? Like,
bro, that nigga had a fucking orange juice factory in his basement.
That's a fact.
What kind
And
of
he
bored
said,
ass,
hey,
nerdy
Roots,
ass shit
he
is
was
that?
trying to flex on that shit. He was showing Dave,
Nigga said, I like everything
the freshest thing. Like,
that shit kind of dope.
That shit on lock for the nerdy girls or the weird girls. He like, you want to see something cool? He got the little.
Fresh orange juice.
Trying to like flex. Like,
they fall for that shit though. They like that.
Bruno, it goes back once again to like, you know, he's trying to change her perception of him. That, you know, like he was this, you know, this ain't had shit soldier boy. Now, like, hey, like you understand, I only like the freshest things. You know, I live a high quality. I got all these fancy ass shirts of different kinds.
Nigga made it rain. Hey, you ain't never made it rain. I don't give a fuck how many times you been to the strip club. You ain't never made it rain on a bitch with silk shirts.
Not at all. No,
that shit was cold as shit.
John,
that
was
did
dope.
that. Bitch.
That was dope.
But then look, he's showering her with all of these finer things. Even her rich husband can't get her.
Facts.
But right after, in the midst of it, what she start thinking about? I gotta go home to Thomas.
No, that's not what happened,
go to
bro.
Thomas.
She deserves a chair, bro.
It was.
So the
reason that bitch started breaking down was
real
because she
quick.
realized like this could have been her life. Like that bitch is real low key like a gold digger. That bitch realized like, damn, I loved him, but I let money win out. Now the motherfucker that I loved, he got money, and I missed out on all of this shit.
This shit. Hold on, let's not slap her with that. First, we gotta examine the hotel scene, right? Because this is where we finally get the confrontation between Mr. Buchanan and Mr. Gatsby. Now, this scene is crazy because this is basically two things that's trying to happen here. One, Buchanan is trying to confirm what the fuck's going on between, you know, him and the wife after he dug up some dirt about him and figured out, you know, some shit don't really
Hey, Luna, if I may real quick, that motherfucker got pissed at that party. Gatsby introduced him to that fucking whatever politician. He was like such
the polo player.
Buchanan, the polo place. Rather not be the polo player. He said that shit 3 times, boy, he was hurt.
He was hurt.
Rather not be the polo player.
He wearing his nice suit and shit like that. Nigga, the only
he
thing
said, "Hey, I'm rich, bro. I don't just play polo. You got me fucked up." Like,
yeah. But you know what the thing is? At a party like that, how you gonna introduce somebody as the rich nigga? It's not specific. It's a bunch of rich niggas.
Yeah, it's a bunch of rich niggas.
Yeah, but I feel like he wasn't even a professional polo player. I feel like he just did that shit like as, you know what I'm saying? Imagine if a motherfucker introduced Trey to somebody as the bowler. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a hobby of mine, bro. That's not what I do.
Trey would probably feel like he was being hoed.
No, Trey might be, because like he you know, fucks with bowling, so like that might be all right for him. But like, damn, bro, that's a hobby. That's not what I do. You know what I'm saying?
But look, all I was saying was that during that scene or whatever else, that bitch Daisy, her mindset became this was the first time I felt like I actually got a peer into her genuine mindset, and I understood that she was feeling a lot of conflicting feelings. So what I want to just get into real quickly is just fantasy versus reality, right? Basically, this nigga
might have
Gatsby,
a haymaker here. I ain't gonna lie.
So this nigga Gatsby and this nigga Buchanan both had some sort of fantasy of what Daisy was, but neither of them was really looking at what this bitch actually was for who she was, son. Yep. So for this nigga Gatsby, he made it sound simple. Just tell him you never loved him, and then we'll go away, right? This nigga Mr. Buchanan is like, nah, she did love me. You're wrong, you know. She did like even though he's a cheating ass motherfucker, he still believes super hard in this sort of fantasy in his mind that he's the only guy for her and shit. You know what I'm saying? And when these two met in person, both of them had a confrontation with the real that was so supreme that they both was like losing their mind. But I think Gatsby was the one who snapped first. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. When he was like, "Yo, just tell him that you never loved him," she's like, "I can't. I did love that nigga."
Well, that's the problem, bro. Like Jay Gatsby could have had everything. I'm not gonna say everything he ever wanted, but everything was going great. But he had to make sure that the bitch that in his mind, and this is where he fucked up at, the bitch that you love, I don't care who you are. You know what I'm saying? Well, I'm not gonna say I don't care who you are, but like it's a very rare case where you ever fall in love with a bitch who has never loved anybody before you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you not just finna get just like a clean slate bitch often. But my point being is that like he could not accept not being the only love in this woman's life. Exactly. And they're in, you know, like his obsession, his desire to you know, that's really part of like a huge part of what the Jay Gatsby character is that he seeks validation from everybody. Part of what he got mad at with that Tom shit was that Tom like was trying to tell him, "Hey, you're not the same as any of the rest of us. We were born into money. Like you were, you know, like you just learned how to act like us." He wants people to like not, you know, he told Nick when he's telling him that story like about himself. He says, "I just didn't want you to think that I was, you know, regular," or whatever he said, whatever word he used. Like he is very self-conscious.
Yeah, so he's very insecure.
Yeah, like he has an image in his mind of how people should perceive him, and like how, and anything else is unacceptable. He has the will and drive to make it happen, but if some shit goes awry, you know, like he
but hey, do you think it's possible to be insecure and egotistical at the same time?
They're hand in hand. I would say, bro.
Real quick.
So yeah, they're driven by the same.
So let me get an ISO real quick.
That's nice.
So around this time, like the manly man was like a thing. You know what I'm saying? Like that was like the only thing you could go off of was your word as a man. And
the mechanic nigga was the manly man.
That's a fact. But even still, like your reputation was you. That's how people perceive you is who you are. So that was very much valued back in that time. And I feel
your word is bond type of shit, right?
Facts. And I feel like niggas kind of lost that in a sense. Because niggas don't really operate on that today. But back in the day, like your word and your reputation as a man was like credit. Like that was your street cred, or you know, whatever the fuck you want to call it. You know what I'm saying? So like that was very important to niggas. He just might be so honest about how he feels about who he is that he's willing to, you know, share it to the point where I need to make sure that you know who I am.
But that's not a regular thing, though, Roots. Because like back to what Luno said earlier, you know, in the review, a motherfucker like let all these stories be told about him, about how he's an assassin and he's a spy and he's this and that. You feel what I'm saying? Like he allowed all of this shit because yes, your reputation was everything.
Shout out Trey.
To address what John asked, 100% insecurity is driven by ego, narcissism, etc. You have a perception of yourself and you want people to perceive you in a certain way. So you carry yourself in a certain demeanor, you make actions to, try to present yourself as this thing. And if people do not perceive you in that way, it bothers you on a level because that is your insecurity. No matter how confident you feel about yourself, why do other people not feel the same way about you?
And let me add on to that too, right?
Real quick before you go, Luno, I just wanted to shout out Trey. Shout out Trey. Trey not on the episode right now.
Yeah, that's my dog Trey, the bowler.
That's the
big
Trey,
dog,
the bowler, you know what I'm saying? The nigga said niggas asked for an ISO, y'all hooping. Nah, it's just some new shit we trying, bro. When you come on the next episode, you gonna get an ISO if you ask for one, bro.
What does that mean though? You didn't ask me.
You got that from Tony Bro, nigga. I know where you got that from.
That's
you didn't tell me what that means though. You didn't. What does that mean?
It just mean we gonna make you the only icon on the screen so you can talk your shit for a minute or so.
Everybody clear out so that
that's fine. I would have done that like 6 times already. All right, go ahead.
Yeah. Speaking of which though, look, so this is really why, like, even though I understand like this nigga's desperation and shit, Gatsby's desperation, he's still a flawed character, right? And what he has is like a tragic pride. He didn't really want Daisy for Daisy, because if it was the case, he wouldn't have needed some crazy ass come up to like go and get her.
He didn't want her for her.
Yeah, he didn't want her for her. What he really wanted was to validate his, they were saying how he grew up, and since he was young, he was like a boy who thought that he was just meant for greatness, and he had this plan for himself and shit. From the very beginning, from the jump, this nigga said, I'm some sort of like God, I'm a child of God, and I'm entitled to everything the world has to offer, including her.
That's like that bitch from X.
But he saw some shit in that war or whatever. I think it humbled him a little bit. He's like, well, shit, I ain't shit. But then he meet this millionaire nigga. He saved his life. He's like, all right, so when this nigga die, I'm gonna come up and then I'll finally deserve her. So when she pulls up, he's balling. He's showing her all of this shit or whatever else, and she leave after all that shit. He's talking with Nick, and he was like, yeah, I'm sure she was impressed. It was an amazing, splendid function. He's like, nah, she didn't like it.
She didn't like it.
Yep. She didn't like it. You know what we need to do? We need to go back to the past. We're gonna go home to Maryland. Why? It's because even all the shit he built for himself was not enough for this nigga to feel valid, son.
No, you're wild.
Real quick. Two things. One, shout out Trey. Trey said, salute to niggas. Today my Duke's birthday.
Yeah. Celebrating her. Yeah. Hey, shout out Trey. Shout out all your loved ones, man. Salute. Have a good one.
Shout out Mama Trey. You know what I'm saying?
Take a shot right now, man.
You got to take a shot right now.
Nigga, take a shot. Nigga, take a shot. Nigga, take a shot.
Let's go.
Hold on, I'm gonna take this shit right now, bro.
Me too. I got you, John.
So the second shit, right? So there was a point. He said this a few times. He said, he had a view of how his life is supposed to look, and Daisy had a very specific part or role to play in that vision that he had for himself. A lot of people believe that a man has an obligation to make his name in the world, start a family, get a wife, start a family, raise children, and that continues the legacy of his name. So I think that's what he was operating off of. He was operating off the sense of, I'm a man. You know what I'm saying? I want, I want my name to be great. You know what I'm saying? Like I want.
My bad. That shot of whiskey just hit me. It's so
different. Hey, no. As long as you took your shot, you did the right thing. You feel me?
Nah, most deaf, man.
Hey, I'm like 4 in right now. But
drink your Mike's Hard Killer Lemonade, KTL.
I don't got none, bro. I gotta get one of them hoes. Yeah, I gotta get one of them hoes after we get off this.
He said, "Get it truly out the cooler, nigga."
Right. Yeah, get your sex on the beach. All that type
what's up?
I want to say, like, I'd like to go a step further with what Luno was saying, in that, like, I feel like, and this is something like I have revelations as we talk about this shit sometimes. Like I get a greater understanding through group discussion, but I think it might be even like more fair to say, like Luno was saying, Gatsby had all these, he had a plan for himself. I'm a child of God. I'm going to do great things, etc. This is a man who has gone from a Dust Bowl, child to a millionaire. I've done everything that I want to do, but the one thing in my life, the one thing that got away is this woman. And so he's chasing, in my opinion, the one thing that has eluded him. There is not a thing that I cannot get with enough time, preparation, and willpower.
But KTL,
you know?
the tragic irony of this, I think, is that it's still
it is Puos, but I feel like it's the one thing. Like he's like, man, I'm Jay Gatsby. What the fuck? Like I can't.
But look though,
it ain't no shit I can't have.
Did he truly get what he wants? I think even at the end, he was truly still drunk on that desire, because you know what? Nick said this in a narration too, which I thought, man, the writing in this movie is so good. When he was laying there with her and shit like that and peering off into the distance, he notices that the green light is gone. It vanished, right? But you know what that symbolizes? That green light for him represents the hope. You know what I'm saying? The hope for him to get her, the hope for her to, you know what I'm saying, to finally get the closure.
Now he's got it.
He quote unquote has it. Yeah. But when it vanished, so did his desire. That's why the lights went off at the Gatsby residence, right? It's that you never really truly fulfill your desire. No matter what, you always have some distance between you and the object of your desire. Which, I mean, for this movie to really be putting that there, son, just
let me say this. I truly feel like he was, you know, in love with this woman. Like that is not an argument that I'm like arguing against. I think that part of it was ego driven and pride driven, and he had like this plan for himself. But I feel like part of what it boils down to, and this was the moral that I like came away from. Like I say, at different points in life, I've come away with a different moral of the story each time. The moral of the story that I got like at the end of this is, for lack of a better term, sometimes despite, you know, because I feel like at the end of the day, Jay Gatsby was a person who, you know, was more or less a good person, you know what I'm saying? Like compared to all the people, his contemporaries, you know what I'm saying? His biggest crime was like not being able to let go of a woman that he loved and whatnot, you know, and realize that it was over. You know, he was hopelessly optimistic, etc. But my point more so being is that sometimes the objects we value, be they people or items, it is not what you think it is. You can pour so much, you know, love and affection and such into a person, and you know, to you they are a certain thing, but like in actuality they're just a piece of shit.
My bad,
Thank
bro.
you, Pauls.
But also too, at a certain point, you tell you're just lying to yourself. You know.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying, John. Like my moral of the story here is that like you can, as good of a person as you can be in the thing that you think that you want, sometimes people are just not good. You know, like
one thing I'll
have
say
to be able to admit to yourself that they are not good, you know, whether it be not good overall or not good for you, before some shit like that what happened to this motherfucker happens to you. He died still obsessed with that bitch. Not, you know, and not even because of some shit he did, because of some shit she did, he took a bullet. Right. You know, do you know how crazy that is? So like he was a month prior, he was just like, he was the summer, like the beginning of the summer, he's just a rich ass playboy having it all, you know, like throwing parties, all type of shit. End of the summer,
nigga in New York,
and he's lost everything. And you know what I'm saying? Like, because he was so in love with a bitch.
Completely defamed, and his reputation shot.
Yeah, like, after he died, they
on that nigga,
on him.
Remember, you guys have to remember too. When Buchanan first comes onto the show and shit, onto the movie, and he links up with Nick, right? When he go to visit to see Daisy and shit. What does he call him? He calls him Shakespeare, right?
Yep.
Shakespeare is known for being a writer of tragic comedies. Well, a tragic comedy, right? So it's interesting that this whole movie, in a way, can be looked at as some sort of tragic comedy, right? With Shakespeare as the narrator, right? I think they put some crazy devices in this movie. This movie definitely, for it to translate to the film super well, there was so much that was put into it from a writing perspective. Like I was really engaged with the movie at the level of meaning, which a lot of these newer blockbuster films inspired by books can't quite do too well. You know?
Hey, Pools,
go ahead.
No, go ahead, Roots.
There was one thing I noticed about every time they introduced a character, especially with Buchanan, they started off with him first. When they introduced him, you found out everything you needed to know about this person.
That was another crazy cinematic shot, by the way.
So as soon as they meet him, he starts listing off his accomplishments. His, you know, I was that nigga in this, I was that nigga in that. I got a plaque for this, I got a medal for that, all that shit.
We can go do this.
Like everybody does this, but it's like
It's evident here.
The list is longer when it comes to the men. Whenever a male character is introduced, like they go to flexing they shit. Like, yeah, this my blah blah blah. I do this. I have my hands in this. Like all of this extra shit. And I just thought that still goes to my point of, you know, niggas working to build their legacy and shit, and like that's their pride. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like they did so many different things to tell so many different stories and use so many different points. This movie is honestly fucking amazing, bro. Like from the writing to the characters, the actors that they chose to play these characters, the characters were very fucking well written. Like everything.
There's a lot of subtle nuances y'all are like bringing up that I didn't peep. You know,
what's up?
No, I'm saying like the things, like there are things that y'all are saying that like weren't things that I peeped, but like now that y'all are saying it, I really realize it. But Puos, you asked me earlier, you know, why I said Tom Buchanan is a piece of shit, bro. And this is like we talked about it now, bro. Let me tell you, like over the course of this movie, this motherfucker he's smacked the bitch around. He cheated on his bitch. Got mad that a motherfucker was trying to fuck. Oh no, I'm not done. Just let me go, bro. Let me cook. Let him rap. That motherfucker cheated on his bitch. Got mad somebody was trying to fuck on his bitch. He slapped the bitch around. He said some racist shit several times. A motherfucker like he let his wife kill a bitch, and then he knew. I'm pretty sure he knew at the end of it. That's part of why they left. And he allowed that shit to be pinned on a dead man. You know what I'm saying? Like all of this piece of shit activity. You know what I'm saying? All of this, we talked about ego because it's all driven by ego. He has a perception of himself as, you know, the manly man that he wants to maintain and whatnot. So he's given himself all these things that he feels as though he deserves. He feels entitled to this broke mechanic's wife because he sees her, he likes her, he wants her. He feels like he is entitled to his own wife because, hey, you know, I put in all this
because it's
work
his wife.
like this. Yeah, exactly. Like, you know, I can do whatever the fuck I want. This is my wife. You know what I'm saying? He, you know, all of this shit, like he sees Gatsby as all of this shit, and he's like, okay, I'm gonna start like looking into him. There's no way he can be this clean, just hating that shit.
I get to go next too.
He said, "Hey, you wearing a pink suit? I know you ain't go to Oxford, boy. What type of hating that
was some hating ass shit.
Damn,
right
dog." He said,
"You got a point though, man.
He was on
a pink ass suit, nigga.
Bro, just hates on me, bro. I got a clean pink suit, and you saying I can't have gone to Oxford, bro? What the fuck? Like, but like, yeah, he's a piece of shit, bro. Like, he's a dickhead. Like,
now let's compare you to him.
Oh my god!
All right, go ahead. I haven't done at least two of those things.
You at least smacked a woman before.
No,
oh my god!
I mean, not like because I was angry at a bitch.
Hold on. Go ahead.
ISO. Go ahead, Puos.
You definitely said some racist shit before. I'm sure somebody fucked your bitch and you got upset with them before. Because it happens, right? 3 for 3, almost. Okay. What else he do?
He pinned a body on a dead man.
You ain't do that, but you have hated on people before. It might not have been an Oxford brother, but I saw you listening to a brother once upon a time. A brother stole a battle from you from a guy named Bill Collector.
Yeah,
and you went into a private server and you listened to a diss track.
Yeah, but that wasn't hating, bro. I was being funny. Come on, man.
Yeah, that was funny, man.
But yeah, it was funny.
John, it was funny. Like,
but you did 4 out of 5 things that this brother has done. So I mean,
yeah, but I didn't.
You saying KTL is Buchanan?
He ain't Buchanan because he ain't as rich as him. But everything else, yes.
That's wild.
Well, Puos, if that's the case, then you're Buchanan. Like,
no, I haven't done any of literally any of those things.
You're a liar.
Well, point them out to me, brother. You know, I keep it a buck.
All right, all right, hey, put my picture on the screen, Ruth.
ISO.
Let's listen.
Yeah.
Hey, Puos, you just said some racist shit a week ago. Like all through, you know what I'm saying? Online,
oh yeah, well I'm black though. I can't be racist.
No, that's one. That's one right there.
I'm
right?
pretty too, so
that's one.
So I can't be.
I know you racist.
Handsome badge activated.
Yeah, I can't be racist.
Before, so that's
got dimples, dark skin, waves.
Yeah, so you did some racist shit. You done smacked the bitch. That's 2. I know you done cheated on a bitch before. fuck somebody else, bitch. You know what I'm saying? I know you done did that.
So we both Buchanan.
I know you done hated on the motherfucker. All
never.
I'm saying,
that's the one I never done.
Cap.
Show me, nigga.
Man, Puos, they literally, I've got a picture that was like, it was
Promised
a
Land,
for 2
right?
years of you
Promised
hating
Land.
on the same motherfucker.
But he's not good though. He's literally not good.
Look at you.
That's not
No,
good.
you didn't even hate on him because you hated on him because he wore big pants.
Nah, but then he made a bar about it, so
Hold on, John.
This is different,
Puos,
bro. Like,
you saw him wearing big Puos.
Hey, that might be equivalent to the pink suit shit, bro.
Hey, Puos, if I may.
How? The pink suit was clean. Big pants
exactly
hasn't been clean since fucking 1999.
Hey, Roots, if I may, the man in the pink suit cannot have gone to Oxford. The man with the big pants cannot have been a good battle rapper. That don't sound the same.
He's ass.
Come on, bro. Like, what are we doing here? Like,
brother, it's horrible. Like, come on,
man. Puos Buchanan, bro. Get out of here.
Okay, I'll be. We both Buchanan.
All I'm saying, Puos, is we like you. If you make that argument, that's fine. But we didn't do it to the severity of like this motherfucker. Like he did. It's the same items, but it's like a 1st degree versus a 3rd degree. You feel me? Like.
I think we all are Buchanan.
Both of y'all made some pretty good points.
Not even just me and KTL. Everybody on this panel has been Buchanan.
Shit, I know John Doe is.
I am 1,000%. Yeah, 1,000%, nigga.
Hey, real quick. Shout out K Slim, K Slim, the motherfucking chat. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the gang for holding it down.
Fuck Slim. That nigga
ain't shout out fucking Slimathan.
Fuck you, Slim. Go do a radio show, nigga.
That's crazy.
Fuck you.
Nah, salute Slim.
I'm just playing. You my brother.
Stupid Andy.
Fuck you.
Fuck you. Like,
hey, man. One thing I just want to say, like, probably my last thought on this movie, honestly, is just that.
That's about that time.
On that motif of the past and the future, this dude, Nick, comes full circle with everything he witnessed and shit, and he says basically all we could do is trudge forward and hopelessly reach out to the past. Like, no matter what we try to do and like go into the future, it's some way of like kind of making up for the
I gotta
past
correct you,
shit,
the quote more or less is he's talking about, he makes a metaphor of we are all boats, rowing into the current, born ceaselessly into the past. The point there was more so being that we, as we swim against the current of time, time is a finite structure for human life. You know what I'm saying? You're here until you're not. And so motherfuckers continuously look to the past because that is time that has escaped us. That is the thing we only have a memory of and not a tangible, thing that we can like reach for. So motherfuckers generally look to times whenever that they think like shit either used to be better or they could have done some better shit, etc. And as we move forward, we're just continuously thrust into the past. You know what I'm saying? And like, I think that was more so like the meaning of that one.
Salute. I don't know about that thrust part, but everything
I knew
was fire. Everything else was fire though. Salute,
hey, bro. Hey, sometimes
they said I was thrusted. Nigga, what?
No, that's a fact.
And I know a nigga named Paz too.
Hell no.
Sometimes you just gotta thrust depending on who's involved. Like,
shit.
All right, good shit.
All right, so ratings or what?
All right, hold on, real quick. Before we get into that, I just we can go ahead.
Hold on, but yeah, we about to get into it. Pause. Luna, one thing I did want to say was that I meant to say it earlier. Like the thing too is that Nick Carraway, like obviously he starts off fucked up, but as you go like into the flashback, like he begins his story as a hopefully optimistic, etc. Pause, an innocent, kind of a character. Like he's not exposed to all the debauchery that the world has to offer. And through the course of like, seeing motherfuckers get killed, motherfuckers cheating on their people, motherfuckers, pinning shit on folks, etc. Like he at the end is just a jaded ass individual. And I think that's a great metaphor for life. You know what I'm saying? You go through like you've never seen an undamaged adult, bro.
The grass is not really greener. The grass is not really greener on the other side.
Yeah, like especially amongst rich folks, like people have like this idea of rich people and like they're
rich niggas got rich nigga problems, and that's how it goes, son.
I actually really fucked with how that everything from the point that what's dude name? Tobey Maguire's character?
Nick Carraway.
From the point that Nick Carraway went through that gate to exit from Gatsby's backyard to his house, from that point on, was super fire. Cinematics was shot very well. You know what I'm saying? Like the writing. So I wanted to focus on one thing with that. So Gatsby offers for them to go for a swim. The nigga like, hey, bro, I gotta go to work in like a couple hours, bro. I can't do that. All right, cool. I'll call you tomorrow. Bet. Nigga, like maybe Daisy will call. And instead of there was one thing that I didn't fuck with about this nigga. Y'all not homeboys. Like y'all cool. Y'all not partners like that. Y'all only known each other for like 3-4 months. Cool, understood. However, you're not just gonna let your nigga like just think bad, like just can be completely in the clouds, and you have information that you can give him to at least help him make.
I don't know, Ruth.
Waiting on this bitch, bro.
Because
like,
he's been trying to tell him this for the whole movie. Like he been
look. The number one piece of evidence I would think at that point is this bitch told her husband what she did, and that nigga said, "We just gonna bounce. Don't worry about it. I'll take care of it." Like, at least tell him that, bro. Like,
Did
don't
he know
just let
that
him,
though,
bro.
I don't know if he knew about like all of that shit. He just saw like them holding each other, some shit in the window, I think.
Bro, they was sitting at a fucking little table on the side yard or some shit. And Nick, right when he told Gatsby, he was like, "Hey, I'm gonna go in and check, make sure everything cool." He saw them sitting at that little fucking table or whatever fuck outside, and said, and he was like, "Don't worry about it. I'll take care of it. We're just gonna leave. Don't worry about it."
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and she's just sitting there accepting it. She didn't call that night. You was over at the crib the whole night. You didn't hear the phone ring once.
He scrubbing blood off the car and shit.
You know what I'm saying? Like, they done cleaned off the car and all this extra shit. She still ain't called. She went to the motherfucking window, looked out the window, then closed that bitch. No call. Like, you gotta tell them something, bro. Like, that's just kind of fucked up. Like that's not some friend shit to me.
I really think
honestly.
she whack is a bitch, bro. Like, I think she whack is well, like, not even like, yeah, but like, I never understood, bro. Like, so a motherfucker getting mad is what made this bitch not fuck with him no more. Like, she seen him finna beat her husband ass, and then she was like, "Oh my gosh, no, he's not who I thought he was." What?
So women were a lot more frail back then. Like, they were very frail. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I definitely hear somebody getting chased by the police.
I thought that was you, Roots.
Nah, definitely not me. Like, if you hear a helicopter in my background, then yeah, that's me.
Nah, that's me. I'm
sirens, in the hood.
Like, I'm in the hood like engines right now. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Hey, fire. But yeah. So like, women were very frail back then. You know what I'm saying? Like, violence or you know, a little bit of anger from their husband, they'll take that for a second.
And Tom Buchanan slapped his mistress. I know he done slapped his wife. Like,
never.
Of course, come on, bro. Like, if you're gonna slap
a mistress,
that boy,
bro.
Hey, Puos, I'm not gonna lie. At one point in this movie, I heard Tom Buchanan say, "Shit, I thought it was legal to beat your hoe."
I mean, keep it a bug, bro. If you ain't slap your wife, are you really a husband, my nigga? Like, come on,
bro. Your wife.
I'm not a husband, so I couldn't tell you.
The fuck out.
Oh yeah, I feel you.
What are we doing right now? I thought the ratings was like 10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
But so yeah, so boom. So he Tobey Maguire character don't tell Gatsby that shit. All right, cool, whatever. The way they did the sequencing to him jumping in the pool, coming out of the pool, the phone ringing, her going to pick up the phone, and it's actually Nick's character calling and checking on him, but he in Gatsby mind, he like, oh, my bitch calling. She finally called, and he died with that on his mind because he said Daisy as he dropped back into the water.
Yeah, that was the last shit he thought.
That was the last shit he thought of. But she didn't even. She put the fucking phone back down. She didn't even call. Like that's some fuck shit to die behind.
He still died with this hope, bro.
With this hope of this bitch on his mind, bro. Like, this nigga died completely misled.
That's actually sad as fuck, man.
Yeah, another thing, Roots, like, I realized he said it in this movie That motherfucker said he was like, I'm 32, you know, I'm still like, if I could put this shit behind me, I could probably go on to be a great man. I'm like, bro, this motherfucker was only 5 years older than me, bro. Like, and he got millions of dollars.
Really accomplishing shit, but trying to go higher than where he at.
That's crazy, bro.
You know what I'm saying? But I'll go ahead and get in. I'll pop off with the ratings and shit. I ain't got no facts, no fucking Snapple facts about the movie and shit.
If you gonna be the last one to review, go look up some facts real quick, bro.
Fuck, I look like Slim, nigga.
Maybe with a hat.
But hey, man, this is my second time watching this movie all the way through. I feel like it's better now. I feel like I feel like watching it now was better than watching it when I first watched it. You know, way back when I watched it and shit. It was shot perfectly. You know, I'm big on music, so like music and movies, I really follow it. And so, like I said before, like the fucking Watch the Throne shit playing every once in a while kind of threw me off. But after a while, I got used to it, and I was definitely fucking with it. The imagery of how it was in the Roaring Twenties, like from what we heard in fucking science class back in the day and shit, this was a great depiction of that. You know what I'm saying? Like niggas was really out that bitch turning the fuck up. You know, legal liquor just
in a science class.
Did I say science? History, my fault. But niggas just got liquor legal again and shit. Like niggas really turning the fuck up. Niggas, the stock done went way the fuck up. Niggas really balling, not niggas, but motherfuckers really balling the fuck out. Like that's really how it was. And I feel like this was a great depiction of that. You know what I'm saying? I really fuck with this movie, and I probably will watch it again before the year is over, just because I fuck with it so much. This is one of Leonardo DiCaprio's best works, I feel like. I really fucked with his character. His acting was on point as usual. I have only seen Toby in Spider-Man and Brothers, I want to say. Maybe one other thing, but I can't think of it right now.
Watch Seabiscuit, bro.
I'm probably not gonna watch a movie about a horse, bro. I'm gonna let you know that right now.
You're the horse guy.
Yeah. Boo, blah, blah, blah.
You're literally the horse guy.
Yeah, like he said, boo, like I lied.
I don't give a fuck. But
that mark you had, can you say it real fast?
I'm not gonna say it. So no. I really fucked with this movie, bro. Like I'll suggest this to anybody that hasn't seen it before, or even if they have, like, bro, go back and watch that shit. Like this shit is really fire.
Hey, Roots, you're a married man, so I can't say the normal question, but would you watch this with your wife?
Of course. And she'll probably gonna watch. She fuck with Leonardo DiCaprio too.
They careful, bro. I heard a motherfucker tell me some shit.
They might all do.
You with Leonardo DiCaprio, bro.
Just don't let them dick suck.
Yeah, be careful, bro.
Look, bro, I made it through Black Panther with motherfucking Michael B. Jordan and shit. Like I can make it through this.
Shit.
To these bitches, that's different. Like that to these bitches that like I've heard stories of niggas leaving Black Panther pissed with they bitch. Like
really?
You were one of them, John.
Bro.
I've never seen that movie in my life.
You a goddamn lie.
I promise you.
Well, no, it's got the word black in it. I believe him.
Oh my god. Yeah, he got the right. Go ahead, man. Next rating, man. Go ahead, Ruth.
Damn, I gotta give my motherfucking rating.
My bad, Ruth. You got me mad, Ruth. You got me real pissed off,
13.5. We heard you.
Shit.
That's a high rating.
I really fuck with this movie. I'm gonna give it 8.9.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Hey yo.
Hey, that was pause.
Bob Celeste, it's on you, bro.
Word. So, yeah, a lot of intricacy with the writing of this movie. Usually when I see a movie that's based on a book, they'll just try like their hardest to match what they think is how people imagine a movie. But I think with this one, they left it to the directors to try and give like a good movie first and then respect the book second. I feel like they worked really hard on cinematography. The shit looked beautiful. Gatsby's like building looked amazing. Sometimes when like they were talking like or making like an emotional point, you'd see like stars, like some visual effects and stuff that goes along with the narration. The narration itself, obviously, it owes from the book, but things like when the phone was ringing for Buchanan's mistress, how they talked about the metallic urgency ringing through the air, like these like really like tender writing points. That shit is like super clean, and like it's not something that you see every day in movies, at least explicitly, right? Characters acting is really good. Leonardo DiCaprio is always one of my favorites, and one thing about Leo that I like is that you see his face a lot, but his range is incredible. He could do like a whole bunch of different roles and shit. Like a lot of niggas can't get into the mad pockets that this nigga can. So you did a great job. Also, nice to see Tony Maguire represented and shit, not boxed into his Spider-Man. You know, Tobey Maguire definitely did his thing with this movie, being you know, kind of an observer to the situation, but also like a connection between all the other characters on the screen, which I really liked a lot. Plot moved along very well. It was a longer movie, but I didn't think it was one of those long movies that kind of punish you for sticking to it. I think that things develop at a pace, and you come to know more about the characters and shit as time goes on. So it's not like a unrewarding 2.5 hours. It was more like a 2.5 hour journey, kind of. So I really like the way that they did that. The only parts of like uncertainty that maybe some people wouldn't like would be obviously like we were talking about earlier, the Jay-Z and the Kanye being put into the 1920s, the Great Depression era, right? You would think like if it's a timepiece movie or a movie that at least is trying to reflect the times, you would have the music kind of reflect that time. So you would have like the live jazz band and stuff, which they had a little bit of, you know, the guy on the veranda or the fire escape of the New York apartment playing the trumpet. I thought those were good touches to kind of show what kind of time it was. Dudes, you know, throwing dice on the block and stuff. That stuff very much helped to keep the times, but also using like newer elements like hip hop music and shit as like a way of conveying just how important and how grandiose and rich the mansion lifestyle, the castle lifestyle was to us. I think it could be either way, but I was actually a really big fan of that stuff. You know, but overall though, and especially for watching the movie after reading the book and stuff like that, I thought they kept true to a lot of the tenderness that the movie did, and they actually amplified the movie by giving like a visual you know, accompaniment to all that going on. But overall, yo, this is a really good fucking movie and shit like that. I definitely recommend it to a lot of people out there and shit. Leonardo DiCaprio impressing once again with a blockbuster film. Nigga got body, but don't worry, Tobey Maguire's still alive, so you could do another Spider-Man. This movie here, I gave it an 8.5 though. Really excellent movie, production value, writing, all the P's and Q's were just there, man. Good movie. Yep.
All right, man. In my defense of what I'm about to say, like I say, I've seen this movie a few times, and so you know the law of diminishing returns exists. With that being said, this is one of my favorite movies, in all honesty. Like, there's a reason I've seen this bitch so many times since it came out. This is a blockbuster, in my opinion, that felt like a blockbuster. You've got a great musical score, or a great musical choice, let me say. You've got a great choice of actors. People played their roles, in my opinion, to perfection. I can't think of a single person that I thought was, you know, shit in their role. They've got great cinematography and, you know, shots. There's some beautiful shit that you see. And as you know, this in some movies that we watch, you know, like aside from maybe like future shit, like it's set in shit we see every day. This is something that I was not alive for, so I really can't. I can only use my imagination for. However, if I were to use my imagination, this is what it would look like in an era of opulence and excessive spending, and you know, just people living with no fear of consequence. This is what I would think of, you know. And as I say, I believe that we've kind of turned the corner and come full circle, even though there's no corners on a circle. In the year 2023, I feel as though we are kind of, you know, back to this kind of thing. So I think that's really dope. I really can't think of something bad that I disliked about this movie, honestly. I think that there were some elements of just, you know, bitch assness that my toxic masculinity will nitpick at. You know what I'm saying? But I have to remember that these are, first off, these are rich people. So, like, it's not, you know, a thing that I experience in terms of being around rich white people. But second, you know, the way that we act in here and like view things is not the consensus opinion of human beings, right? Like regular people will act in this manner generally. Um, I also am not too toxically masculine to be able to get in touch with my emotions. So, you know, through this movie, like my many viewings of this movie, I, have been able to appreciate the love story that is being told, albeit as I've gotten older, I view it as a little bit more one-sided. But I do think it's a beautiful thing for a motherfucker to like have such a love and a belief in, this person that they will, go to any lengths, even if, as Luno kind of said, it's a tragic comedy. It ends in despair, the heartbreak of everything just kind of falling and crumbling. Something that you wanted so bad in life may not end up being yours, at the end, and that's just how life goes. I think this is a fantastic fucking movie. Like I say, I didn't realize how long this movie was until motherfuckers brought that bitch up here. But like it didn't feel like it was dragging for any part of that 2.5 hours. I'm probably going to give this movie a 9.5. I would give it a 10, but I don't want to just seem like I'm just inflating the fuck out of scores, especially since I picked the movie. But like I enjoy this movie a lot. Like this is probably at least top 5, top 10 movies for me that I've seen.
Fire. What's up, John?
Yo, what's up, bro? So I'm gonna keep it a buck with you, dog. This week has been busy as fuck for me, so I ain't even watched the movie. I just pulled up to like drink and chill with the homies and
Hey,
shit.
John, you need a cough drop, bro?
Yeah.
Nah, you lying, bro.
I promise you 100%. If you look back at the podcast, I did not say anything about the movie. I just added comments to what you guys were saying and agreed.
Bro, this nigga fire, bro.
So salute to y'all. It sounds like a good movie. I might watch it though now. So
definitely.
Hey, John, would you watch it with your wife?
Yes. Yes, I will. But yeah, go ahead, Paul. It's on you, man.
Yeah, so I wasn't listening for the last 10 minutes. I've been talking to Slim in the chat. So
why?
It might be because he might be a Buchanan, bro.
Slim or Buchanan or me?
I'm talking about Slim.
Yeah, he probably is. Fuck Slim, nigga.
Go ahead with your rating, bro.
I don't watch gay shit like this. Like
all
this
right.
is for like niggas.
Whoa,
like,
now, buddy. Hold on.
Bitch ass shit. I don't watch shit like this. I
watch
motherfuckers getting slashed up and shit like that. That's what I watch. So like I said last week, I had a little PTSD about this movie. I didn't want to watch it because I got hold before watching this movie. I don't know if everybody heard the story, but I will not repeat it.
Justice for my dog Pools, man.
But I did watch parts of it with a beautiful woman, and she did not say anything about this man. So that means she loves me.
I'm happy.
And I appreciate that. I'm about to leave this room.
Salute to you, brother.
Hey, John, I'm about to leave this room and give her 1,000 kisses. That's what I'm about to do. Therefore,
hey, salute, man.
Nah, the movie dope though, man. It was cool. Like I said, I don't watch gay shit like this, but it was Leo in it, so you know what I'm saying?
You said it again.
It was dope. Like I didn't understand his whole thing about being obsessed with this woman, but my nigga Luno kind of put it in layman's terms for me, and he was like, "That's all bro got left. He conquered everything else, so he wants that last thing that he had he never had." So that kind of put it in another perspective for me, and I appreciate that because I couldn't see that for myself. Actually, I want to what's the word? Not congratulate. I want to pause. Appreciate all of you niggas for the things that I didn't notice about this movie that was going on, as far as the nigga from Spider-Man. I don't know, bro, name. The
Tobey Maguire.
How did I not know that? That's crazy. The nigga from Tobey Maguire, y'all was telling me about the certain things he was doing. I was.
He's drunk as a bitch, boy.
I ain't gonna lie. I'm a little fucked up. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Me too, bro. Me too. On God.
Yeah, niggas showed me like from his perspective also like that we're not. He's not doing much, but we're looking at it through his lens. So I was like, okay, that's different. So maybe. He was kind of crazy as like acting within this movie. I appreciate that perspective from y'all niggas, like, cause I didn't see it like that. But yeah, man, I like good shit, KTL. You're pretty. Yeah, I mean, you're top 2,
bro,
3.
Gave my last movie a 5, bro.
Shut
like,
your ass up, nigga.
Like,
that shit deserved. That shit deserved a 3. And
I had to do, bro. I know how it goes.
but we all deserve a stinker sometime. So you're one of the top 3 niggas for movies on this, like with our whole thing we do. You're top 3, so I'm gonna watch anything KTL recommends because he's pretty good at this. Good job. This is a good movie. For a gay ass movie, this is a good movie, bro.
Stop saying that, man.
I'm gonna give it
Stop saying that, man.
Yeah, he gonna offend folk.
No, because they hey, shout out all my gay niggas. Let me let y'all know that right. Shout out all my gay niggas. You niggas who like
you
niggas.
made it to an hour 49 in the podcast.
All you niggas who like niggas, shout out y'all gay niggas.
Yeah, shout out Vito, man.
I want to make this a short.
Hey,
bad.
Shout out Vito and shout out all the rest of my
Yeah.
niggas. Good shit, KCL, with your gay movie. I'm gonna give it a 8.7. Let's go, Leo.
8.7. All right, boom. And so all that together, that's
8.6.
8.9, man.
Oh shit.
Is that a high? What's that? Top 5 at least.
That's a high. That's definitely a high.
You back on your shit, KTL. You went from a 5 to an 8.9. Good shit.
Hey, bro, I had to do something, man.
Your
I
ass,
did that
though.
shit y'all accused Art of. I was like, let me let's go in the stash and pick a movie I know can't be ass. Like,
who got do Luna got the next movie?
No, it's Roots. And Roots didn't even have a pick before.
Unless you want me to get that next movie.
But I got one now, nigga.
Oh, okay,
hey, cool.
okay. Yeah.
I was like, hey, who got the next movie? He said, I don't know. Is it me?
All right, ready to present that shit?
Let me go ahead. Let me ISO real quick. You know what I'm saying?
Quit whispering, bro.
All right, boom. Check it, right?
Yeah.
We don't watch a whole lot of different types of movies, you know what I'm saying? Like, we don't watch the drama shit. We don't watch the gay ass shit, you know what I'm saying? We don't watch the scary shit. We don't watch some funny shit.
Ooh.
But check this out. Y'all know I'm a soldier, right?
Yeah.
Oh boy. He gonna pick.
We ain't watched no war shit yet. We ain't watched, niggas really go trying to kill niggas like as a unit. You know what I'm saying? Like, we ain't watched no shit like that yet. So guess what?
I know what it is. Go ahead.
We about to watch Brad Pitt. Know what I'm saying?
Oh yep.
John Bernthal.
Yep.
Shout out Punisher. You know what I'm saying? Motherfucking Shia LaBeouf, one of them niggas.
Again.
Let's go.
He said again.
We about to watch Fury, my nigga.
Fire. Yeah, that shit fire. I watch
I
that.
know what that is.
That shit fire.
Yeah.
Nick Fury.
Shia LaBeouf, nigga.
Yeah.
Brad
man.
Pitt too, right? Brad Pitt was in that shit too, right?
Hey, yeah. Brad Pitt. We know who that is.
Luno, look at the screen.
It's a clean ass movie, man. I'm excited.
What year
for
did this come out?
Oh
Bruce?
God, this shit.
1942.
Nah, it's 2013 or 2014.
Actually,
God.
if that's the
2014.
case, that's the first time we went from
2014.
2013 to 12. Okay, so
Yeah, that's still close. Like, we ain't never went like consecutive years.
Black Bruce, help me out, bro. What was the score for the total shit?
8.9.
All right, because IMDb gave. Okay, I got you. You said 8.9.
Yeah.
That's correct. Yo, that's wild. We did way better than IMDb in my opinion. IMDb was probably harder. I gotta look at what exactly they were saying, but they gave it like a 7 point something.
IMDb generally gives some fuckery to their scores because
they usually give respect to the good movies. It's just that when it comes to something that's based on source material, I feel like they try to examine respect to the source material instead of taking the movie on its own terms.
The complaint with Great Gatsby and it serves with other things is that they felt like they focused more on spectacle than storytelling, but I think they just didn't analyze it in the same way that we did. Like they didn't focus on as much. Like they said that the movie makers didn't focus as much on characters as they did the set pieces. And I don't agree.
At the same time, I don't know if IMDb does this, but I know Rotten Tomato does. They sometimes take like the people like us, you know what I'm saying? Everybody that go and watch the movie and go, like fans go, they talk about it on Twitter, Facebook, whatever the fuck, and they take that into consideration with their ratings.
Okay. Well, they have the early screenings for these movies, and the early screening, who's pulling up for that? Autistic ass film critics who've read the book too, you know what I mean? And so it's tough as fuck, but in any case, I feel like we did the movie justice. Fury next week, Black Bruce, sign the shit out, man.
Hey man, That's another motherfucking episode of the Real Rap Coalition podcast. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna be back next week with motherfucking Brad Pitt and Fury. You know what I'm saying?
Subscribe.
Real quick. When's y'all next Saw episode? Because we want to shout that out. Make sure niggas
Tuesday.
go over and watch that. All right, so boom, Tuesday, probably sometime later in the day, somewhere around 7, 8, 9 o'clock, something like that. You know what I'm saying? Niggas gonna go ahead and review Saw 6. Am I right?
Saw 7.
Mm-hmm.
Saw 7. Niggas are reviewing Saw 7.
I believe it's Saw 3D.
And make sure y'all stay tuned. Make sure you subscribing because October we doing a whole horror fest, bro. Every week we doing some horror shit. We doing some scary shit. So if you motherfucking scary and shit, don't come around. But if you fuck with that shit, be pulled up every week at motherfucking 8 o'clock right here on the Real Rap Coalition podcast. Like, comment, and subscribe. And we out this bitch.
Nigga.
Real rap, boy.